You Better Dig 2 from the band Perry. And Ronnie Millsap started us off there. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. It's Gary Reynolds here, and it's Real Country.
Real. The award-winning high school football broadcast is selected by the Virginia Association of Broadcasters. It's Katy Country Sports with Dave Haney and Oscar Briggs live at English Stadium in Altavista. Oscar, good to be alongside again at the press box.
It's gotten to be an annual thing now, Dave, so it's always good to work with you. Kyle on a little bit of a hiatus and got another gig working tonight, but welcome have you back in the box, and always a pleasure to work with a legend.
Well, let's not get people's hopes up too high yet. The game's not over. But we do have a good battle shaping up between the Altavista Colonels and the visiting Appomattox Raiders tonight. The Raiders are 2-2 on the season under their third-year head coach, Doug Smith, and they're going to run more of a veer kind of offense, and I'm expecting them to try to control the ball and keep it away from Altavista.
Well, prior to last year's game, and you're right, they come in at 2-2 with convincing victories against Nottoway and a nice victory against R.A. Lee. And we're really in the ball game, and one of their losses to JF, and really competitive with Buckingham as well. Going into the game last year, Kyle and I, due to the history of the athletics and the athletes between these two teams, we're expecting a shootout. Lo and behold, 0-0 at the half. So I think you're right. I think that given Altavista's performance from last year and Appomattox, I think that you'll see Coach Doug Smith try to control the ball. A lot of, that veer is based on deception, ball handling skills by the quarterback. And let's face it, Appomattox does have athletes.
They do. And, of course, Altavista's defense will try to have to cause some disruption for the quarterback, Devon Edwards, the senior quarterback for Appomattox. If they can disrupt him on the pitch outs and the handoffs, that sort of thing, then the defense might be able to dominate the game.
Well, they did, and we saw last week Galax tried a couple times to go into a veer-type offense, and Altavista did a good job of covering both options. So it'll be a good test tonight for Altavista against Appomattox.
Maybe their best test of the season.
I certainly think so. We said we thought that everybody last year circled Galax on the schedule for this year to really be the first test for the Colonels. No disrespect to the previous opponents, but now this Appomattox teams, this should be a good ball game on paper.
It should be, and we'll have to, of course, wait and see how it plays out. And we welcome you to the Subway pregame show here with Dave Haney and Oscar Briggs at English Stadium in Altavista. Second home game of the season for the Colonels. Big crowd last week, and we're hoping the stands will fill up just like that again tonight. Both teams are out on the field warming up. The Colonels in their orange uniforms with the black pants, and Appomattox in the white with the gray pants and silver helmets. And warm-up's still getting underway here as we've got about 20 minutes or so before the actual kickoff. Kyle had a chance to talk with the head coach of the Altavista Colonels, Mike Sharness, earlier today, and we're going to come back and talk with the coach here on the Subway pregame show after this timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing Atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted Atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29, Altavista.
A short drive will save you money.
I'm Greg Walker. The song says a short drive will save you money, and I'm confident it will. At Fellers Chevrolet, we have a reputation of good service, a friendly atmosphere, and great deals.
September is Chevy Truck Month. Save up to $11,500 when you trade for a new Chevy Silverado at Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista. Hurry, they won't last long.
come see us. The short drive will save you money.
Short drive will save you money. Miller Chevrolet in Altavista.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here once again on the Subway pregame show, talking to the head coach of the Altavista Colonels, Mr. Mike Sharness. And Coach Sharness, big win against Galax, your first home game last week, 53-7. You scored on all three phases of the game, and I felt like it was highlighted by some really big plays that seemed to get you even more excited than usual on the sideline. The Thornhill touchdown to Donovan Montague, and then of course the big interception that Devontae Clark had and scored on. Talk about those two plays, and then maybe the game some just in general.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Kyle, that you recognize the excitement level, because those two kids, Devontae is coming back from a knee injury, and for him to pick that off and get into the end zone, I think me and the coaching staff and the kids, you could see the excitement. And Donnie Montague is just he's just one of those kids that has worked for 4 years, worked extremely hard. And anything good that's given him is really, it's neat for us to see. And in the football game, it's pretty sweet for him to go 75 yards, on a pass reception. So the kids played extremely well. I was very surprised by the outcome of the game, the score of the game. We just had a lot more team speed than they did, but they're a very well coached team and very strong, and we just had more quickness than them, and we were able to make some big plays, and that's we just hope we can keep on doing that throughout the year.
Yeah, Thornhill had 3 rushing touchdowns to put you up 21-0, and then they respond, and it looks like it's going to be a close game. And I thought you guys, I don't know if we want to use a boxing analogy, but it's like you won the first 3 rounds, and then they came back and won a round. You shut them out after that. Were you happy with the way you guys stepped it up after they did get their score?
Yep, definitely was. We had a mix-up in the secondary, communication-wise, that gave them that long pass. They scored the touchdown, and then, we shut them out from there. And again, our second unit, we were really pleased with how, in the last few games, how our second unit has played. And in some cases, our JV kids are getting a lot of playing time. And they're playing hard. They're playing really hard and playing well, and that's encouraging also.
Yeah, as excited as you were for those big plays, it did seem like you showed some frustration. I don't know if it was the second quarter or the third quarter, but had another one of those penalties, and it was clear you weren't trying to hide it, that you were a little bit frustrated with your guys there at that point. The penalty still the main hang-up for this team right now?
No, that situation was a fourth quarter. Or late in the third quarter, we got the game won, and we're losing our mental edge. We're thinking a little bit too much about ourselves, our individual self, and not the team. We got a couple penalties that weren't warranted. They didn't need to do that. So, we addressed it, and hopefully we need to be a little bit more team oriented, and that is frustrating to be in the lead like that and have flags come on your team in that situation.
Colonel's taking on Appomattox tonight. Before we get onto that, one last thought about the Galax game and the games previous to that too. It seems like you guys have been really, really good about downfield blocking, whether it's the receivers when another receiver catches a pass or when a running back is on a run. And then also, on the interceptions, you guys turn into offense really quick there, and guys seem like they're really selling out to block for each other and have an unselfish nature when one of their teammates has the ball. Is the downfield blocking something that you're proud of right now?
Yeah, that's something Coach Lee works with his receivers, is the mentality of, making blocks before you catching the football type thing, to where we're not just a receiver who wants to catch the ball. Because it's awful important out on the perimeter, especially with our offense, the way guys can get outside, is to get on your block and stay on your block. And you have to maintain it for a while. It's not a quick 1 or 2 second block. You have to maintain it and be quick, strong, and athletic and stay with the man. So, Coach Lee works on it, and And that's the difference between a 16-yard gain and a 65-yard gain, is when you can make that block out on the perimeter. So we're hopefully can continue doing that.
Yeah, going to need some of it tonight against Appomattox, another team with generally very good team speed. And you guys had a great ball game up there last year. That game was one of the closer ones you've had last year, and really you didn't decide it there until the fourth quarter. Do you expect another close game this year?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think every game we play, I see things that a team can do to beat us. Galax was no exception. Appomattox is going to run a split-back veer. It makes you assignment. You have to be disciplined on defense and have a certain assignment that you have the running back, or you have the pitch man, or you have the quarterback. And they have the ability to strike quick with that type of offense, and in the same breath they can jump into a spread. The quarterback is a senior. He played 2 years against us. 2 years ago against us. He didn't play last year. Deion Edwards, big left-handed quarterback, and he can throw it. He really can. He can throw it a mile, and he's got a very strong arm. And they can hit you a couple different ways offensively, and so we're trying to prepare for that. And defensively, they run a 3-4 scheme that over the years, last 2 or 3 years, has been very effective against us. And they've had good football players, had a good football team. They made it to the, I think, state semifinals last year, lost to Giles, and they had a great year. So yeah, we're looking for a very tough one tonight.
And another well-coached team too. And it seems like we're going to be saying that for the rest of the year, you know, that it's going to be a close game against a well-coached team. Maybe a couple keys tonight to beating Appomattox. Obviously, the crowd was large last week at Galax. I mean, you're going to win the Galax game, like you said. You had more athletes than they did, but it does help having the crowd, and when a crowd gets big, it does seem like maybe not quite a 12th man situation, but it certainly doesn't hurt. It's nice to play in front of those fans.
Yeah, you know, but we're getting there with the 12th man, because the kids, student body got into the cheering section, and the kids, they see it. They see the not the victory line, but the Spirit line. Thank you. As we come down the hill, they can see that. They can see if it's 3 people deep or if it's 300 people deep. Right. You know, and they thrive off that, and they definitely were ready to play with this home opener, and you know, hopefully we can get the same kind of response tonight. You know, in regard to what keys we've got to do with this football game is, I think, and I've told the kids from Monday on, we got to make number 7, the quarterback Edwards. We got to make him make quick decisions. And make good decisions. If he does, and he beats us, he beats us. But we want to see if we can make him put the ball on the ground, make decisions, and in his run. And this is in the running game, whether he pitches the ball or gives it to a back. We need to make him make some quick decisions. So I think that's a big key for us defensively.
Colonel's defense has been very good at harassing offenses all year. Let's see if they can do it again tonight against Appomattox. Kickoff about 20 minutes away on the Subway pregame show on 105.5 KD Country.
Here's more specials from your area Apple Market convenience stores. 32-ounce fountain drink, only 89 cents. Large coffee and fresh baked donut or Mrs. Freshly snack cake, just $1.99. Dr. Pepper, 99 cents for the 2-liter size. And 8-piece chicken, now $7.99. Every day from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Apple Market locations, Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. You know what they say, stop by the Apple today.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business.
Stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away, with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
The Subway pregame show with Dave Haney and Oscar Briggs at English Stadium in Altavista, where we're waiting for the teams to come back out on the field for the kickoff. The Subway pregame show also has something special going on throughout the game. We'll give you a chance to win a free foot-long sub later on tonight, and we'll tell you how to do that. You'll have to text us when we give you the word, the special word to text us. You got any good words in mind now, Oscar?
I'm not going to divulge it yet.
All right.
I think I've got one, but we'll wait that and give it here maybe before kickoff and give people the opportunity to, when we say that word, to like it and post it on the Facebook page, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, just to let you know, we're streaming this ball game online at kdcountry.com. That's brought to you by your Allstate insurance agent, Chris Owen, on Timberlake Road in Lynchburg. And you can visit Chris online at allstateagencies.com, Chris Owen, or find him on Facebook. So check it out. And you might want to pass the word along to some alumni who have moved from the area that they can listen to the games on the radio, on the internet. And you just click on our website. There's a listen link in the upper right-hand corner. And there is about a 10 or 15-second delay, but you'll get all the action from the field here tonight. And speaking of the field, it looks in really good shape, Oscar.
Well, it is, and 3 or 4 years ago they put the Bermuda grass in, bit the bullet, put that Bermuda grass in, and it was a little bit late coming in this year with a wet summer, but once we got a little bit warmer into July and August, it really took off, turned green. It's great footing. Had a little bit of rain here, about 4/10 of an inch over the last 36 hours, but I was down on the field earlier. Footing should not be an issue.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem at all. That field is pretty firm from what you can tell, at least walking on it as a spectator. Well lined as always with plenty of color. The orange color markings of the numerals and the 20-yard lines and the 50-yard line. The big A in the middle. And that's we're just waiting for the crowd to file in here for the game tonight.
And while we're waiting, and before the band's got to do the national anthem, while we're doing that, let's take the opportunity and we'll run down through some starters for tonight's game. First, for the visiting Appomattox Raiders, number 5, Philip Fleshman. He'll be in the running back position. Number 7, Dion Edwards. You'll see him at quarterback. They'll also utilize him and roll him out and put him out in the slot sometimes and roll in another quarterback, so be aware when they do that. Number 8, Marquise Morgan. He'll be lined up at tight end. He's a junior. Number 14, Devon Graves. He's a wide receiver, a 6-foot freshman. Number 21, Deron Kelso, will take a majority of the running back duties tonight. He's a sophomore. His brother Delonte Kelso is the other halfback. He won't get quite as many carries, we don't think, historically. When you get to the offensive line, number 51, Xavier Morgan. Number 62, Drew Mann. Number 67, Nathan Drew. Number 74, Devin Harvey. And number 78, DeAndre Robertson. As you alluded to earlier, Appomattox coached by head coach Doug Smith.
2-2 on the season, and last week, of course, the quarterback Dion Edwards and Philip Fleshman, the running back, each scored 2 touchdowns in the win over Robert E. Lee, so you can look for them to be some of the primary ball carriers tonight. And we've got a little time here. We'll take another break on the Subway pregame show and come back with some more play-by-play.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
GMC. Come on in and bring the family and see your friends at Highview Motors. Highview
Our thanks to these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
El Cerrito in Altavista. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only at El Cerrito.
Robertson Auto Sales, Lynchburg. Dealers with a passion for great quality pre-owned vehicles. We love cars and trucks, and it shows in our inventory.
Aubrey Rosser, attorney at law, going above and beyond the courtroom. Your choice for any and all legal advice. Serving Altavista, Lynchburg, and Roanoke areas.
One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where the gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking.
Mad Biddy's Antiques, 105 Wood Lane, just off of Main Street. Come find what you didn't know you were looking for.
Dairy Freeze, serving ice cream, yogurt, fries, hamburger, hot dogs, and fresh chili since 1961 from their Main Street location.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Welcome back to more Altavista High School football. As the Spirit Lines foreman, we talk about most valuable players, Dave. Let's talk about some that we couldn't do this to you and bring it to you without. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. English Construction Company, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Fellers Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place for family and friends to dine. English's Building Supply, featuring National Hardware locks and latches. Tyree Little Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between. Highview Motors GMC, from small to tall, Highview Motors has it all. Apple Auto Glass, get a free car wash when you have new windshields installed. Select Air Mechanical and Electrical, your authorized trained dealer. Apple Markets, check out their weekly specials at area locations. Perkins Tire and Auto, Highway 29, Chatham. Call for free pickup, and delivery. And as Dave already alluded to, internet broadcast at kdcountry.com, brought to you by Chris Owens, Allstate Insurance in Forest.
And, of course, this is the Subway pregame show, and we should mention the subs of the month for September. There's just a few days left in September, but it's the roast beef and the trio. The Subway trio are the two sub of the month, and I'm sure they're listening down there at Subway, so I got to be sure I get them right. So we appreciate them listening as the captains for both teams come out on the field here for the coin toss.
Spirit Line foreman too, Dave, and this thing gets better and better every week. You get more and more kids out. Of course, this is the second home game, but certainly more kids out on the field than there were last year.
And it looks like Donovan Montague for the Colonels, number 1, Michi Malbeck, number 7, Destin Brown, and number 11, Juan Thornhill are the captains tonight for the Altavista Colonels. They're blocking the 4 numbers of the Appomattox Raiders, who are meeting with the officials at midfield. And, yeah, that Spirit Line is filling up. The team is lined up behind a banner down there under the goalpost that says, "Rip the Raiders."
Yeah, and you got to hope that doesn't happen to what happened with the mini Mike team that they showed on national TV this week when they couldn't bust through the banner and they stacked up behind them.
Well, let's hope our guys are a little stronger than that. They've been working out in the weight room during the off season. But, yeah, good Spirit Line, and as the coach talked about in the pregame show, that the fans are really getting to be a 12th man as far as the Colonels are concerned. Well, I see the Appomattox Raiders are going to receive after the coin toss. The Colonels will kick off.
Yeah, Appomattox won the coin toss, and they want the ball first. You know, it's interesting because when Altavista wins a coin toss, they always defer, and their philosophy is they want their defense on the field first, pin the other guys back, get them a 3 and out, and flip the field. So far, the 2 coin tosses that they lost, both teams have decided to receive the ball, so it really plays into what Altavista's strategy is.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if there's a right and wrong answer on which way to do it. I think it's more a coach's preference on how he wants to start his team. As the Raiders come out on the field carrying Virginia flag, an American flag, and I believe that's maybe an Appomattox County flag. But here come the Colonels rushing through the Spirit Line. Plenty of enthusiasm smoke, and fans out on the field here to get us started in just a moment. We're about a minute away from kickoff, so don't go away. We thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to remind your friends that the game is on the radio on 105.5 and on the internet at kdcountry.com, just in case something distracts them from thinking about Friday night football.
Well, and Kyle and I always encourage, if you're in the area and you're listening, or not in the area and listening, if you shoot us a text or shoot us a message, we'll give you a shout out. I got somebody listening from South Carolina. Elizabeth Parrish is listening on the radio tonight. So you never know. We hear from Arkansas, we hear from Florida. Lo and behold, South Carolina.
Yeah, every once in a while I see Jay Rosser post something on Facebook that he's listening to the Colonels, so we appreciate all that. Looks like the stands are full. I wouldn't say they're overflowing, but they look full to me.
Well, Dave, this town continues to roll out and support this team. Having a defending state champion and in the not too recent past, you'd be lucky to have 300-400 people in the stands. This side certainly seems to be about probably 80% full tonight. So and a lot of kids coming up now from the Spirit line. So we are less than a minute away from kickoff here.
And the Raiders have 3 men deep standing back inside the 5-yard line. I believe that's number 6 in the middle there, Trey Walker. And we'll try to get the numbers to the 2 side men. Walker Allen will kick off. Just a junior for the Colonels, wears number 89. And he's been doing a tremendous job to start this season as we get ready to go here. As we get the indication from the officials, we're joined by a few extra fans. A lot of stink bugs in the stadium tonight. And here comes Walker Allen up to the ball. Gets a good foot into it. High end-over-end kick coming down to number 6 at the 3-yard line. Back up the middle. Comes to the right side. Breaks a tackle. Gets a hole. Gets up across the 20, the 25 before he's finally knocked down by the Altavista defense. But that was a nice return from the Raiders.
It was a nice return. He got a little bit of a gap. We thought he was going to be able to get a little bit deeper, but Altavista did a nice job of recovering and limiting him to get to the 27, because I certainly thought he had the opportunity to go a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah, Appomattox had opened a hole there in the wedge, and the ball is placed at the 27-yard line on the near hash mark toward the Colonel's side of the field. As we get ready to go, first play from scrimmage, 1st and 10. They give to the running back around the left side. He's got some running room, finally gets his legs cut out from under him after he gains about 5-6 yards. We'll see exactly where they spot it. Looks like maybe the 33-yard line.
Gain of 6 on that play, Dave. And nice job of that left side of that Appomattox line, which is a very experienced line, opening a hole up.
Call it 2nd and 4 for the Raiders. 2 men in the backfield behind the quarterback. Kelso, he rolls, fakes a handoff, and the Colonels diagnose the play that went the other way. That was a good job of reading the offensive play by the right side of the Colonel's defensive line.
Yeah, nice job of that linebacking core diagnosing what that was. 1 yard loss. As you said, it brings up 3rd and 5, and that's a dangerous situation against the Colonels.
It's a little bit of a long situation, and you think maybe the Colonels might come with a blitz. Here's the play right up the middle. It's not going to go far at all. They'll be way short of the 35-yard line. They had to get it up to the 38 to get the first down, or the 37, I guess we should say. Kelso, I believe, was the quarterback on the carry there. I'm sorry, Deron Kelso, the ball carrier.
And Appomattox is in punt formation. Looks like they're going to give the ball up to the Colonels.
Yep. And it looks like Michi Malback backing up to his 30-yard line. Here's a high snap. The Colonels come with a rush, short kick. High end over end. It's going to come out of bounds near the Colonel's sideline. Well, it takes a bounce now for the Raiders and stays inbounds just across the 45. The Colonels have excellent field position in Appomattox Raider territory at the 47-yard line of the Raiders.
Yeah, and that's Jamerson that does the punting for Appomattox, and what he does is he does more of a rugby style. Very successful with that last year. Got a ton of roll. It didn't do so well on that net yard of a 13-yard punt.
Yeah, I thought the Colonels had a pretty good rush that forced him to kind of kick it off to the side rather than try to kick it right straight up the middle. So the Colonels get the play in from the sidelines from Coach Mike Sharness. From the shotgun, pass out to the far side, caught at the 50-yard line and down sideline for a nice gain and a first down. Thornhill throwing to... I didn't catch the receiver.
That was Thornhill to Thornhill. That was Jamal Thornhill on the reception. And that's going to put it down at the 38-yard line.
Number 11 to number 12. And it is short of first down. They say went out just about a yard short. So it's 38-yard line, 2nd and 1 for Altavista. Thornhill again in the shotgun, has the ball, comes to the left side, turns it upfield, gets by one man, breaks another tackle, gets free into the secondary across the 30, the 20, down just inside the 20-yard line. Juan Thornhill running through traffic and making a nice gain.
Gain of 18. And Dave, we continue to see Juan get into that secondary, and he doesn't turn on full speed. He's very selective. He slows down. He really picks his spot, showing a lot of football intellect in doing that.
Until he got to the edge in the corner and decided to turn it upfield, like you say, he was just looking, biding his time, and then once he got around the corner, he put on the speed, and that, of course, causes problems for the defense. There is an Appomattox Raider down on the field on the far side, hash mark. He's up now. 20, what did you say?
Number 26.
26.
Kelso.
All right. So he's up, walking off under his own power as the referees stop play just for a moment for the injury. The ball will be at the 20-yard line of Appomattox, and it's on the hash mark on this side of the field.
And nice, Dave, this is your first trip to Altavista since we've got the running shot clocks over in the corners and the play clocks, and that's a nice addition this year for the McConnell Club.
Just one more thing for me to watch. Down to 6 seconds. Thornhill getting things set. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Man in motion coming this way. Thornhill keeps it up the middle, has a nice hole behind his left guard. Dives forward down close to the 10-yard line. We'll see where they say he finally went down.
Looks like they're going to put him just about a half a step short.
Yep.
But they're going to give him that first down, so they're going to call it. It should be 1st and goal.
So it is touching, I guess, the 10-yard line.
That's what it appears.
And it is 1st and goal. And now the Colonels go to the pistol. They give to the first man through. He's up in the left side. Touchdown, Altavista. Destin Brown, the ball carrier, out of the pistol, just went off the left side and ran through a couple of people and went into the end zone standing up.
Boy, the offensive line was a question coming into this season, and they've got a couple of kids that got a lot of playing time last year. The other guys got to play a lot in the second half. They're really turning into a solid organization again, and did a nice job that time sealing that left side, allowing Destin to get into the end zone.
So the Colonels with a 6-0 lead here, and Walker Allen will come on for the extra point. Thornhill gets the snap, gets it up. The kick is up and high enough. It's got plenty of distance, and it's good through the uprights. So there's timeout on the field with the score Altavista 7 and Appomattox 0 on 105.5 KD Country.
If you're like me, life changes, and that brings up financial questions. I'm Vivian Brown of First National Bank, and we're excited to offer a new financial answer center that will help you better understand your own needs. It covers various financial topics, offers free quick guide, and if needed, access to a First National Bank employee. So go to our website at 1stnatbk.com and take a look at the new financial answer center. It's a smart resource that could help you bring home more bacon. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Well, a poor punt allows the Colonels some good field position and just takes a few plays to get it into the end zone with 8 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock in the first quarter of play. the Apple Market first quarter. Oscar?
Minute and 26 seconds, 4 plays to go that 47 yards. So another one of those typical Altavista Colonel drives.
And the defense deserves credit for stopping the Raiders on their first offensive series, and then the offense does the rest of the work. So that was what you saw last week. A good defensive play, good offensive play, good special teams play made it an easy victory for the Colonels. As the Colonels and Walker Allen get ready to kick off, once again the Raiders drop 3 men back inside the 5-yard line. And Walker Allen comes up to the ball, gets a nice end-over-end kick that's going to go into the end zone, and that will mean no return for the Raiders. That was through the end zone, and that's what you've seen a lot of from Walker Allen during the season, and he is just a weapon for the Colonels.
Boy, that's exactly what it is. As Kyle started to say Kyle, so old habits die hard, Dave. That's what it is, and if those of you listening for the first time are not familiar with high school football, when you do kick the ball into the end zone in high school football, there is no return. It is a safety, player safety consideration.
1st and 10 from the 20. Back to pass, complete to the far side, breaks the tackle and down the sideline, pushed out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. The quarterback, of course, for the Raiders, Dion Edwards, the left-hander, threw a bullet out to the far side and complete over there, and the Raiders have a first down.
That's a gain of 19. Nice job getting out and eluding the Altavista defenders on that play.
So here's the ball at the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Kelso hands off up the middle. Short yardage as the running back dives forward there. The Colonels stop him after about 2 or 3 yards. I think that was 5 Philip Fleshman on the carry for Altavista, or for Appomattox, excuse me. Gained 2 yards.
And, of course, Altavista up in that 3-5. They'll even run the corners up. Everybody, even the safety, Thornhill is in with it 6-7 yards at the line of scrimmage. They dared to pass the ball.
The Raiders again with around the right side, off right tackle. Maybe they'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's Fleshman again.
They're going to give him a gain of 1. Should be 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, that looks pretty close from here. Wayne Short making the stop for the Colonels. So way to go, Wayne. Way to plug up that middle.
Let's hear it for the defense, fans.
So 3rd down and 7. Another long yardage 3rd down for the Raiders. Kelso back to pass, looks to this side to number 14, goes high over his head, incomplete. Good coverage by the Colonels, as there were 3 Colonels, including Juan Thornhill, Nelson Dews, and number 24 for the Colonels also over there.
Nelson Dews,
yeah.
And Nelson's first-year starter has stepped in and done a really, really nice job as a junior.
4th down, and looks about 6-7 yards. The Raiders will punt.
And Jamerson will do that funny rugby kick.
Kicks it off to the side. The Colonels come close. They nearly blocked it. It takes a kind of funny roll as it gets across the 50-yard line, across the 40 into Altavista territory, and they'll finally blow it dead there. But the Colonels almost blocked that.
It looked like Destin Brown may have got his hand on it.
Well, he might have.
22-yard punt.
It didn't go very high, and might have got a hand on it. So good job for Destin if he did. As we reset the countdown clock to 25 seconds, 7 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the Apple Market first quarter. Stop by your Apple Market locations today in Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street. Colonel's ball, Thornhill with the snap, pitches to the tailback Brown, coming around this side. Brown dives forward across the 35. I'm sorry, that's Clydell Moon in there now. Number 2.
Kind of picked up 3 on that play, Dave, and
just got tripped up right at the line of scrimmage and fell forward.
He couldn't get his feet up under him. You're right. He did get tripped. Looked like he was going to be able to maintain his footing, but.
So 2nd down and 7 for Altavista Here's running back right up the middle again. It gets across the 40-yard line. Clydell on the carry.
Another nice gain by Clydell. They're going to give him about 4 on that play.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 3 from the 42-yard line of Altavista. Colonels get to play in from the near side. Mike Sharness calling out the instructions from the sideline. 3 wide receivers to the far side for Altavista. Now they bring a man back to this side of the formation. And looks like they might take a timeout. The Colonels taking a timeout. I don't know if they didn't like exactly what they saw or what, but Colonels didn't look like they had that formation understood before they snapped the ball. 6:09 to go.
Well, that's right, and it was easy for us to see. That play clock was down to 2 seconds, and there was a little bit of miscommunication coming in from the sideline. So nice job by Coach Sharness not taking that penalty with 3rd and short, 3rd and 3. He didn't want to make it 3rd and 8. That totally changes the dynamics of that play.
That's right. 3rd and 3 is pretty manageable. 3rd and 8 is a difficult, calls for a pass normally.
That's right.
6:09 to go. Altavista leads 7-0 here in the game between the Raiders and the Colonels at English Stadium in Altavista. Dave Haney, Oscar Briggs with the call tonight on the game. All right, now the Colonels put, looks like maybe 3 men in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to the far side. 1 man is in the slot, also a wide out here on this side. Man in motion coming back this way. And Thornhill will keep it off the left tackle. Got some running yards, and he's got the 1st down as he sprawls forward across the 45-yard line. Somebody getting up a little bit slowly there for the Colonels, number 6, Demetrius Johnson, as he was in there leading the blocks. Just across the 45. It'll be 1st and 10 for Altavista. Raiders with their 3-4 defense. 2 wide outs to each side of the formation, and a man in the slot on the other side. Coming back this way, Thornhill gets the call, the keep, up the middle, jumps over 1 man, sidesteps another, gets by the referee, down the right side, jumps over a man, finally tripped up, couldn't quite beat that last man, or he would have had a touchdown, but a big pickup by Juan Thornhill.
And as we've seen all year long and all of last year, the wide receivers, once that Juan decides to go into run mode, the wide receivers downfield do a good job of running interference with him and giving him some options as to where he can go.
And if you caught the coach's pregame show, Coach Sharness gave a lot of credit to his wide receivers doing that blocking downfield and allowing those extra yards by the running backs. Thornhill from the Pistols gives to the running back, and no gain there. Stopped. Clydell Moon again trying the left side, but the defense of Appomattox Raiders, their premier linebacker Buster Henderson, made the stop on the Altavista left side.
Yeah, Clydell tried to plant off his inside foot, and when he did, the footing, it just wasn't there for him.
So it's 2nd down and about 13. Thornhill to keep, rolls this way, looks downfield, pumps, chased out of the pocket, rolling downfield, throws high, incomplete. Had 2 men along the sideline there, and neither one could come up with that ball. It would have been out of bounds, I think, anyway, as Juan speaks to one of the receivers about running a little deeper route, maybe.
It's a holding penalty back, that's a spot foul, and it was at the 29-yard line. That's going to be back to the 39-yard line. They've got to get down to the 14, so.
That's a tough call for the Altavista Colonels, especially on the hold. And oftentimes that happens, particularly on a pass play when you have to try to block a little extra long.
They may decline the penalty, and that's exactly what they're doing. They don't want to.
So rather than making it 2nd and
25, it's going to be 3rd and
13. Yeah. Okay. Well, 3rd and 13 easier for the Colonels to overcome, it appears to me. They bunched 3 receivers to the right side. Thornhill gives back to the running back coming this way. Round the corner is Malbeck. Malbeck is inside the 10 before he's shoved out of bounds. So Malbeck, out of that triple receiver play on the right side, comes back the other way. And with his speed, he picks up big yardage and the first down for Altavista.
Gain of 18 on that play. Nice job by Michi. Nice job again by that left side of that line, sealing that side off and giving him some options.
Good play drawn up by the Altavista offensive brain thrust. 1st and 10, Colonels. Thornhill to the right side, looking for a block, trying to get around the corner. Penalty flag comes out, and Thornhill is shoved out of bounds. They say he's in the end zone, touchdown. We'll wait and see what the penalty flag does.
Flag down about the 4 or 5 yard line.
Yep.
And it's a hold, and it's against Altavista.
So the Colonels will, this one, I can't see at Appomattox declining at all. So they'll back the Colonels up 10 yards. And we'll see where they spot it.
Was that the I think the flag was down around the 4.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it looks about the 14. Between the 13 and the 14, maybe.
You know, 1st and goal from the 14 doesn't bother me at all with this Colonel's team.
Not when we just saw Michi Malbeck roll for an 18-yard play here in the first quarter. Thornhill on the keeper, going to pass over the middle, thrown too high, incomplete. Donovan Montague was slanting over the middle, but the pass was just too high and goes incomplete to stop the clock.
Well, it was a little high, and I think that a lesson learned from there, if Juan would have been a little bit more patient, Donovan had gotten behind the secondary. If he'd been a little bit more patient, he might would have been able to complete that pass.
I think that's a good observation, as he was just breaking free. 4:19 to go with the Colonels leading 7-0. 2nd and 14. Thornhill with the snap, thrown out to this side to Malbeck. Malbeck looking for running room, gets inside the 10, but the host of Raiders there wrap him up. It'll be 3rd and goal as the Raiders put a nice stop on Michi Malbeck out of the slot receiver spot along the near sideline here. And clock continues to run in the first quarter. So 3rd down for the Colonels and goal at about the 8-9 yard line.
This is one of the longest drives of the Colonel's season as far as time.
Here's Thornhill keeping, rolling to the right, gets a block, tries to turn the corner. He's shoved out of bounds along the far sideline. Didn't pick up anything on the play. Might have lost a yard as he was right at the marker. And it looks like the Colonels might come on and try a field goal. Bring up 4th down and goal. Thornhill actually lost more than a yard on that play.
They're going to mark it back around 11. And this is one of the things about high school football that I don't like is the width of the hash marks. Puts a difficult situation for the high school kicker.
Yeah. So Walker will try from the right hash mark. Kick is up, and it's got plenty of distance, and the referees indicate it is good. So in the Apple Market first quarter, the Colonels score again, making it 10-0. Timeout with 3:27 to go on 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Perkins Tire and Auto Service in Chatham. And we do mean service because Perkins Tire will pick up and deliver your vehicle. Call Perkins Tire in Chatham, 434-432-1100, 432-1100. Whether you need brand name tires or service, call Calvin, Stanley, or Frankie at Perkins Tire and Service Center on Highway 29 in Tight Squeeze, just south of Chatham. Perkins Tire and Service Center, your authorized Michelin tire dealer.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Back at English Stadium, where the Colonels finish off one of their longer drives of the season here to open up a 10-0 lead in the first quarter.
12 plays, 65 yards. Took them 3 minutes and 58 seconds to get that 3 points, and it was a nice 29-yard field goal from Walker Allen.
So the junior continues to impress with his kicking ability, and he'll kick off here, of course, again for the Colonels, as we still have lots of time to go in the first quarter of play. It's been 2 offensive series for the Colonels, and they've scored on both of those. The Raiders have had to punt on both of theirs. Beautiful evening in Altavista. Good crowd on hand on the Altavista side, and a decent crowd showing up for the Appomattox Raiders, who are 2-2 on the season. The Colonels 3-0. They had a bye week earlier in the season. Here comes Walker Allen up to the ball, gets another high end-over-end kick. It's going to be returned at the 5, going along the left side now, and back across the middle before the Colonels wrap him up about the, 30-yard line. Near there anyway. We'll wait and see where the spot. Trey Walker, I believe, number 6, was the return man. Looks like they'll give it to the 31-yard line, where the Raiders will take over on their 3rd offensive series now.
3:20 remaining here in the first quarter of the Apple Market first quarter. Colonels lead 10-0.
2 wide receivers to each side for Appomattox. Kelso from the shotgun will take it around the left side. He's got some running room, breaks 1 tackle, and finally shoved out of bounds in front of the Appomattox bench. But nice job of, that's Edwards. Dion Edwards carrying the ball.
Gain of 19, and as you alluded to, that was a nice job. He got out on the edge, did a little shaking, and threw some Colonel defenders off, and they are almost in Colonel territory.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to spot it right at the 50. The ball just on the Appomattox side of the 50-yard line. They've been trying to run up the middle. The Colonels have stopped that, and so here come the Raiders trying something else. Not much gaining this time.
Boy, I couldn't tell who got it to the backfield. Dante Poindexter was in, and Dustin Brown was in, and Dustin really laid the lumber to somebody. They blew that play up.
Dion Edwards was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. So good job defensively by the left side of the Colonel's line. 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders at the 50. 2 wide outs to each side, 2 slot receivers on each side. And here's Edwards downfield, almost picked off. It goes incomplete. There was a receiver, but he was well covered. Michi Malbeck knocked the ball away. Had a chance to come down with the interception, but couldn't quite hold on to it. It was just a little high.
That's one of the things about this secondary. Michi, the receiver was 3-4 steps behind Michi, but once the ball was in the air, boy, Michi can close with anybody in single A, and he did that on that play.
Great speed, and it pays off in the defensive secondary for Altavista. 3rd down, 10 for the Raiders from the shotgun. Here's Edwards rolling left, throwing, complete, and 1st down along the far sideline at about the 37-yard line. We'll see where they end up spotting it, but they knocked the receiver out of bounds after he made the catch, but it was enough for the 1st down. And there was a gap in that Altavista defense that Edwards was able to find.
Well, we had talked about that. We knew Appomattox had athletes, and we know Coach Doug Smith, and he has done a great job of coaching. Great job of scouting against this Altavista team. It looks like they've got a good plan to mix and of run and pass.
1st down at the 37. Edwards with the ball running up the middle before he's finally stopped. He's close to the 1st down inside the 30-yard line.
I don't know how much longer they can take the pound, and the halfbacks are going to be able to take the pound. And Donovan Montague exploded on somebody. He punished the kid. I think the kid went off the field. But anyway, gain of 8 on that play.
Inside the 30 at about the 29-yard line of Altavista. 2nd down and 2. Here's Edwards rolling this way. The pitch is fumbled, and the Colonels tackle the ball carrier for a loss. The Raiders luckily were able to get back on it. Devon Kelso, the halfback sophomore, managed to recover the bad pitch. It was a little bit behind him, and luckily he was able to get on it. 1:22 to go in the ball game in the first quarter, the Apple Market first quarter. Glad you're joining us tonight as it brings up third down and long now, third and let's call it 8 at the 35-yard line of Altavista. So here comes Edwards again, looking to throw. Incomplete, thrown over the receiver's head. Colonels actually had a better chance of grabbing that one, but it was too high for them. It'll bring up fourth down. And it was the right call on a long third down play like that, 3rd and 8.
Sure it was.
57 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Apple Market first quarter, with the Colonels leading 10-0 here tonight on this final Friday in September. And there's timeout on the field. We'll take one, too. Timeout with the score, Altavista 10, Appomattox nothing on 105.5 KD Country.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pads, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
Here's more award-winning high school sports with Kyle and Oscar on 105.5 KD Country.
Kyle Haney with a previous engagement on this Friday evening. Dave Haney and Oscar Briggs here to bring you the play-by-play on what is the fourth down for the Appomattox Raiders at the 35-yard line of Altavista. That's the best penetration the Raiders have had so far tonight on their third offensive series. 57 seconds left in the first quarter of play. Fourth and make it 8. And it looks like the Raiders are going to try to go for it. Edwards calling the signals. Maybe just a chance to try to draw Altavista offside. The Raiders take a timeout again. And that might have just been a decoy play.
Yeah, he might have tried the hard count and try to see what the Colonels were going to do. Given the punting history so far tonight, I don't see any big deal in Appomattox going for them. I would assume they'd go for it on this play. 57.5 seconds left. Colonels leading 10-0, and hey, nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. They might put the Colonels a little deeper in their own territory, but then again, it might get into the end zone too, and you're back out at the 20, and that's really no gain, like you say.
We've seen Altavista a couple times within the last, actually 3 times. Last year they did it where on a fourth down, somebody would heave the ball up and Altavista would intercept it rather than batting it down, and it served almost like a punt. It'd be interesting to see if Appomattox chooses to do that, if Altavista is disciplined enough to either knock it down. But you get Thornhill, Michi, Nelson, those kids in the secondary, if they get the opportunity to make an interception, they always think they can take it to the house.
I hear you. And that's the way they should be thinking. So here's fourth down. Edwards in the shotgun. The senior quarterback sets his tight end to this side of the field. 2 slot receivers, man in motion going the other way. Here's Edwards slinging it out to the far side. Halfback pass downfield, and there's incomplete. The pass intercepted, but I think there's going to be pass interference because there's a penalty flag back there where Nelson Dews went up for the ball.
And that's a tough break. That ball was up in the air. It was up for grabs.
That's what I thought.
The Appomattox player wasn't going to catch it, in my opinion.
We'll wait and see what the referees indicate.
Well, they say 15-yard penalty, so.
Okay. Well, there's 2 flags on the field. One against the Raiders.
Offsetting, they'll replay the down. Lucky break for the Colonels.
That is. I'm not sure if that was a holding call or just unsportsmanlike at the line of scrimmage, but nevertheless, the flags do offset each other, and the Raiders will have another chance at the 4th down. We've been trying this for a couple of times now. Maybe the 3rd time is the charm.
It'll be interesting to see if, they pulled their bag of tricks on that play, Dave.
Yes, they did.
So that won't work this time, we don't think.
We don't think. So 4th and 8 for the Raiders. And a penalty flag comes out again. The whistle stops play. And 43 seconds to go.
This is the longest 35 seconds in high school football history.
I thought they'd already used their 3 timeouts, but we may have been miscalculating. So I'm not quite sure. Did the clock run out on them?
No, they called timeout.
So we'll wait and try 4th down again. 3rd time was not the charm that we thought it could be.
Yeah, Colonel's got 111 yards of total offense so far here in the first quarter.
Colonel's leading 10-0 with just 43 seconds left in the first quarter of play tonight between the Raiders and the Colonels at English Stadium in Altavista.
And Appomattox has done a good job of containing the Colonel's offense. Again, you're averaging 50 points a game, and first half they're averaging about 35 a game. So to hold them to 10 in the first quarter so far, nice job by that Appomattox defense.
Apple Market first quarter. Check out their weekly specials all week long at the 3 Apple Market area locations. Here we go with 4th down and 8 again. Man in motion to the far side. Edwards rolling that way, decides to keep, throws downfield, open man caught at the 20-yard line inside the 20 and knocked out of bounds. And now we got one more penalty.
That's going to be tacked on to the end. That was a face mask. So that pass play will count. They're going to put it down to 22-yard line. Plus half a distance to the goal.
So we'll be around the 11-yard line. And this is a break for the Raiders. They finally made that 4th down play work for them after several adventures of trying to complete a play. 1st and 10 for the Raiders, deep in Altavista territory at the 11. Man in motion to the far side. Edwards keeps up the middle, driven back by about 5 defensive Colonels, and that'll be a good stop by Altavista for little or no gain, maybe a yard.
They are going to mark it still at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, 15. Okay, we were looking at the wrong yard line there to start with.
Yeah, I was too.
And that's the end of the first quarter, so timeout after 1 quarter of play with Altavista leading 10-0 on 105.5 KD Country.
Unfortunately, I have some bad news.
How bad is it, Doctor?
We've done all we can. Your heat pump's not going to make it.
Oh, no.
Honey, it's going to be okay. We'll call Select Air Mechanical and Electrical, 332-2600. With over 60 years experience, they'll have us comfortable again in no time.
I recommend Select Air to all my patients. Call 332-2600 or visit selectairmechanical.com. They can handle all your home comfort needs, and they're an authorized trained dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
10-0, the Altavista Colonels lead to start the second quarter of play, but the Appomattox Raiders are threatening, knocking on the goal line here we start the second quarter of play. The team's change ends. The Colonels will have their back to the Bedford Avenue side of the field. And the Raiders will be coming from our right, going to the left.
And Coach Smith's game plan, ball control, is certainly limiting the touches that the Colonels get. We talked about that in pregame, and it looks like it's been relatively successful. Easy for me to say tonight.
Call it 2nd and 9 for the Raiders. Man in motion to the far side. Edwards hands off to him. It's the halfback option. Going to come back this way, and the Colonels have got him surrounded for a big loss as 4 or 5 of the Colonels were in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's an awful spot. They actually got a hold of him about the 24 and spun him down, but they're going to give him 22-yard line. That's a 7-yard loss. Nice job by the Colonels on that. Once you try to change direction on this Colonels with the way they pursue and fly to the ball, you're going to find yourself in trouble in a heartbeat. They just have too many athletes.
The Colonels have a lot of speed, and that's hard for other teams to overcome.
And they do a good job of staying in their lanes, Dave.
So now it's 3rd and 15 for Appomattox. Man in motion. And in the backfield again for a loss. Clyde L. Moon busting through there. I don't think anybody touched him. He was just free all the way through.
Well, they did. Nobody did touch him. And Clyde L's the emotional leader on this team. They're going to mark that back at the 29. That's another 7-yard loss. Don't underestimate the pride that this Colonels defense have. They've only given up 13 points so far this season. They don't want anybody scoring on them under any circumstances.
Coach Revis might have given a few inspirational comments there after that penalty and changing the ends here at this quarter. It's 4th down, and the Raiders are going to go for it. And penalty flags fly as it looks like there was motion before the ball was snapped.
I gave Coach Rivas a hard time last week. He was really, really disgusted with one play, and he ripped his hat off and he kicked it. It went 10 yards. I told him he had a better leg than Walker Allen.
He still got his hat, though.
He crushed it in a little bit, but
giving some instructions out there to his team and the encouragement to the referees. Looks like the Raiders will get to try 4th down again. Here's Edwards rolling, being chased in the backfield. The Colonels have got him at the 50. Clyde L. Moon in there again.
That's back at the 49-yard line. Boy, they had a first and 10 from the 15. They lost 34 yards on those 4 plays.
I think they should have kicked it on 4th down way back when.
Yeah, they went from -7, -7, -5, and -15.
Well, it looks like the Colonels got tired of being pushed around on defense, and they'll go on offense now, 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. Thornhill in the shotgun, gives Destin Brown off the left side. Destin Brown has the first down at the 40-yard line of Appomattox. Boy, some good blocking up front there to give Destin a seam to slide through, and he just used the speed to pick up the first down.
It's going to be interesting now to see if the Colonels start to really flex their muscle. They struggled. I say struggled. Had a very nice ball control drive, but I think it's time now. I think you're going to see that offensive line bow up and see the athletes for Altavista take over on this drive.
From the shotgun, Thornhill gives to the pistol runner. He drives forward to about the 36-yard line. Destin Brown again on the ball carrier, number 7. Picked up 4 for Altavista.
And, of course, what you'll see, Dave, is you'll see them platooning with Clydell and Destin. They try to alternate possessions. Unless one of them breaks a decent-sized run, they will run him off, the other one off to get some rest.
Man in motion to the far side now as the Colonels have 3 receivers to the left. Thornhill gives to Destin again. Destin goes nowhere this time as he went off the left side and ran into 3 Appomattox Raiders as they were set for that play, and there's a loss for Altavista back near the original line of scrimmage at the 40. We'll wait and see exactly where they spot it. Well, they gave them forward progress back to their line of scrimmage. So bring up 3rd down and 7 for Altavista.
And I got to write down the Colonels in 4-down territory as well, Dave.
Sure are. Big 3rd down play here. Here's Thornhill rolling this way, looking, decides to keeps the ball, dances across the 30, inside the 20, and runs out of bounds. That was a nice play by Juan Thornhill as he pump faked and drew the receiver by him, slid inside him, cut back across the field, and then cut back to the outside, picks up the first down, And that's the best description of I can do that doesn't really give it justice.
Well, let me help you out. You don't win 2 state championships as a point guard, basketball championships consecutive as a point guard, and not have that type of ball handling skills, because he's got them.
Thornhill again from the shotgun. Running back beside him is Moon. And off the left tackle spot, Clydell Moon gets down inside the 15. So a nice run for Clydell here in the Appomattox second quarter with 8 minutes and 9 seconds to go. The Altavista Colonels hold on to their 10-0 lead, but they are driving here and trying to add to their point total. 3 wideouts to the left side, 1 lone receiver here along the near sideline. Thornhill takes the snap from the shotgun. He'll keep, goes up the middle, sidesteps 1 man, gets around the corner, tripped up at about the 4-yard line, maybe the 3. Juan Thornhill is down there nearly into the end zone, but a nice job of once again picking his way through the Appomattox Raider defense.
And again, last year, Juan would have just bolted the first chance he got. He continues to really, really pick his holes, follow his blockers, and does a really, really good job. And Juan looks a little shaken up. He's coming off, and you'll see Donovan Montague go in at quarterback.
Yeah, there was a low tackle, and then a man came in over the top as Juan was going down at the 3-yard line. And so we'll see a little bit of a change here, I think. Looks like the officials are taking the timeout to Juan Thornhill here on the sideline. I don't know, is he holding his back? It's hard to tell from exactly over here.
Yeah, it looks like he's in his midsection, his sternum area, and that would make sense given the contact that he had.
So the officials' timeout here. We'll keep it here for a few moments with 7:32 to go as the training staff looks at Juan Thornhill. And you hope it's nothing too serious. Donovan Montague will go in at quarterback, I would expect, as we've seen him in there earlier in the season. It'll be the 3-yard line. And Juan is up and walking off on his own power.
And Juan's a tough kid. He's a competitor, and he's a tough kid. I would imagine we haven't seen the last of him.
So the Colonels get set at the 3-yard line where it's 1st and 10. And let's see. In the Wildcat, off the left side, Dustin Brown, touchdown.
Well, what do we know? They didn't even put a quarterback in.
Nope.
They've run the Wildcat. They've probably run that play 4 times this year, usually with Clydell. But, hey, nice job by Dustin taking that ball into the end zone.
He took it. The defender went to the outside, and Clydell just cut to the inside and had an easy time standing up into the end zone. So the Colonels add another 6 points here with 7:21 to go in the Appomattox second quarter. Dave Haney and Oscar Briggs with the play-by-play. And Walker Allen will come on to kick. Bad snap, picked up and rolling to the right side. Diving into the end zone. I'm checking on the 2-point conversion there. That's Juan Thornhill. So he recovered pretty quickly. And the low snap, he just scooped up and raced around the right side and beat everybody to the end zone. I guess he didn't get there the first time, so he thought, I'm going to get at least the extra points.
You never, just when you think you've seen it all from Juan, you haven't. 7:21 remaining here in the second quarter. Colonels lead 18-0.
Timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29, Altavista.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Up here with Jimmy Mundy and Andy McCracken, and of course Oscar Briggs, the old reliable one, along with yours truly, Dave Haney. Oscar keeping the stats tonight, as he usually does for the games.
And boy, that was a nice 6-play, 50-yard drive, 2 minutes 39 seconds. Colonels lead 18-0.
And Walker Allen will kick off as the Raiders slip a little farther behind here and see if they can get their offense going here in the last 7 minutes of the first half. Number 6 back deep for the Raiders is Trey Walker. He stands in the middle of the field at about the 3-yard line. 2 return men also flanking him at the 5. Here's Walker's kick. It's a nice high end-over-end kick that comes down to one of the side men at the 12-yard line, 13-yard line. Back up along the left side here, but not much gain. We'll wait and see as they unpile.
I think they're going to mark it around the 27.
18 was the ball carrier, Dakota Jordan.
And I did notice that Warren usually is on that special team, on the kickoff team. He was not in for that play.
However, he is out there on defense at the moment. And they move it up to the 27-yard line of the Raiders along the hash mark on the Altavista side of the field, where the Raiders will go 1st and 10, trailing by 18.
A little bit of success that last time throwing the ball. They certainly had none running. -7. They're minus about 34 yards here in the second quarter.
Going around the right side this time with a nice big pickup down the sidelines there. Finally, they go out of bounds near the 45-yard line of Appomattox. We'll wait and see where he really stepped out. It's hard to tell from here exactly where they go out of bounds when it's in front of the Appomattox Raiders bench over on the far side.
Pick up a 14, and
they say he stepped out about the 41. But still a nice gain, as you said. Running to the right side, running to the outside. Raiders have had not much luck running up the middle.
No, you're exactly right, Dave.
So here's 1st and 10 from the 41 of Appomattox. From the shotgun, Edwards calling the signals, has a man in motion this way, fakes to him. He'll keep around the right side, has some running room, gets tripped up as he crosses the 50-yard line. Nice job of tackling by the Altavista Colonels. And it looks like Edwards is a little slow to get up, as there was a nice low shoestring tackle over there by the Altavista Colonels.
Juan Thornhill on the stop, but that's another first down.
It stops the clock as the referees ask for the training staff to come on and help Edwards, who's still down on the ground.
And alluded to it earlier that on several occasions, some of the Altavista kids, very clean, no dirty play at all, have unloaded on Edwards in the backfield. This is the second time he's been down for a considerable amount of time. So getting those hits is starting to take its toll.
He gets up on his own, limping a little bit, maybe just banged up on an ankle. So we'll wait to see if they bring in a new quarterback for us. With 6:59 to go in the half. Altavista leading 18-0 at English Stadium in Altavista. Still time remaining on the field here for the injury timeout. And the officials wind the clock. And it starts for the countdown as the Raiders have the ball on the far hash mark. Colonel's a little slow getting back to the ball. 8 seconds left on the countdown clock. From the shotgun, here's the snap. Around the right side. Colonels grab him from behind. Stop him for short gain. Good second effort. Picks up a couple of yards there for the Raiders. And I didn't get the number of the new quarterback. Number 5, Philip Fleshman.
And they go to almost a single wing, pistol, whatever, without Edwards in the game.
So it's 2nd and 8 for Appomattox in Altavista territory at the 45. From the shotgun, again, it's Fleshman around the left side.
And gain of about 4 as he gets it down to the 41-yard line. That'll bring up about 3rd and 4, Dave.
Yeah, nice run off the left side that time for Appomattox.
And this Appomattox line is really moving the front end of the front line of the Colonels. They're pushing them around a little bit. They're getting into that linebacking core pretty often.
And I'm a little surprised because I thought the Raiders, one of their concerns was their offensive line, but they are doing it tonight against Altavista. And there's a dive straight ahead across the 40-yard line. Won't be enough for the first down. 21 on the carry is Devon Kelso.
And that brings up 4th down and about 3. And obviously the trailing 18-0, as Dennis Carter calls them, the Raiders will go for it.
They are on the Altavista 40-yard line and trailing, like you say, 18-0 with 4:49 to go. Looks like they will go for it against this Altavista defense. 3 wide receivers to the far side of the formation. 1 lone receiver here along the Altavista sideline. From the shotgun, back to pass is Edwards. Being chased out of the pocket. He throws it away, incomplete. There was a receiver in the vicinity.
He was outside the tackle box, and it did get past
the line of scrimmage.
But hey, the Colonels turn them over on downs.
Yep. Good defense.
Another nice job.
So we'll wait for the Colonels to come out on offense here with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the Altavista market, or rather the Apple Market, second quarter of play. Here we go with 1st and 10 for the Colonels. Juan Thornhill stands back at his 35. 1st and 10 to the running back up the middle. Gets about 5 yards before he's brought down. It looks like Clydell Moon on the carry that time. They move it to the 45 of Altavista. 2nd and 5, Colonels. As the Colonels are doing some ball control of their own tonight, Oscar. 2nd and 5 from the shotgun. Man in motion to the far side. And they give Demichi ball back around the left side. He has the first down across the 45. And finally knocked down over there. Good blocking out in front for Michi by some of the Altavista receivers. Wait and see exactly where they spot it. And looks like one of the Colonels a little slow to get up. Getting a little help. And is that Kofer out there? Number 70, Tyler Kofer, the junior. A little slow to get up. Looks like he's going to come over to the sidelines here. Comes off under his own power. The Colonels will just taking a big hit out there in front of Michi Ballback, but a nice job of clearing the way for him. So 1st down for the Colonels at the 44-yard line of Appomattox. Thornhill in the shotgun. And Clydell Moon moves over to the left side beside him. Ball back in motion. Going to the left side. This time Thornhill keeps. Almost breaks free. Gets the ball and down inside the 35-yard line where it's another first down.
It's an illegal shift.
All right, we'll wait and see what the penalty flag is. Looks like the Colonels are going to back up. that's way in the Colonels' backfield. It's going to back them up to the 49-yard line.
3:18 remaining here in the second quarter. Colonels leading 18-0.
So we'll call it first down and 15 for Altavista. And is that still one of the Colonels down on the field out there?
Yeah, it's Thornhill. And he got bent backwards on that play.
So that's got to be one of the concerns for the Altavista team. We'll take a timeout here quickly with 3:13 to go in the half. Timeout with the score Altavista 18, Appomattox nothing on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
I'm Greg Walker. The song says a short drive will save you money, and I'm confident it will. At Feller Chevrolet, we have a reputation of good service, a friendly atmosphere, and great deals.
September is Chevy Truck Month. Save up to $11,500 when you trade for a new Chevy Silverado at Feller's Chevrolet in Altavista. Hurry, they won't last long.
Come see us. The short drive will save you money.
Short drive will save you money. Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
The Apple Market second quarter of play, where Apple Market is a proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels and high school football fans everywhere. So let's go Colonels, as they're still tending to Juan Thornhill down on the field. He sits at about the 34-yard line of Appomattox, which is where he ended up after that nice run. And the training staff is looking at him. So you'd expect another, I don't know, we're going to do the pistol again, or will Montague come in at quarterback this
time? I think given this situation, you'll see Donovan come in. They didn't do it last time because they were down inside the 3-yard line, so inside the 5-yard line. So.
And the ball is backed up to the 49-yard line where it's 1st and 15. Juan gets up on his feet and coming off a little slowly, limping a little bit, getting some help. So that could be an ankle. And ankles have been one of the characteristics of injuries for Juan Thornhill.
That's exactly right. That's what got him in basketball season.
So we'll wait and see after the trainers have a chance to take a look at him. And here comes the Colonels up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 15 from the 49 of Appomattox from the shotgun. Montague throws out to the side and the pass is dropped incomplete.
Donovan Montague's pass intended for Clydell Moon.
Clydell Moon had it in and out of his hands.
And this changes the dynamics for the Colonels team a little bit. While Juan is a threat to run the ball, Donovan not so much. He's not a game breaker. He can run the ball, a little bit more of a power runner. But it certainly opens up a whole new offense because Donovan's got a much better arm than Juan.
So we'll maybe look for a little more passing. 3 wide receivers to the far side. 2 men in this side of the formation. Montague throwing downfield, incomplete, thrown too high, and nearly intercepted by Appomattox's number 2.
Boy, that ball, Donovan threw that ball 25 yards, and it never got 7 feet above the ground. And it was an absolute bullet.
Looks like it hit Page in the arm, and he's holding his arm a little bit. Page, the defender for the Appomattox Raiders. So here we go with 3rd and 15. Colonel's not making any progress on this drive. Juan Thornhill injured a little bit earlier. Montague in the shotgun. Appomattox showing a blitz. Montague will keep. He's tripped up in the backfield for a loss. And nice play by the Raiders as they knew it had to be a passing down and causing the Colonels to be flushed out of the pocket. Colonels will have to punt it away for the first time tonight.
And I think for the second time in 2 games.
So 2:29 to go in the first half. 18-0, the Colonels are leading. Walker Allen will do the kicking for the Colonels, standing back at his own 22. 4th down and 22 yards to go. He gets the kick away, a nice booming end-over-end kick that hits inside the 20 and rolls down near the 12-yard line where the Colonels cover it there. There's no return at all. So a good kick by Walker Allen.
42-yard punt, no return. Nice job by the Colonels. Appomattox, 2:01 remaining here in the second quarter, trailing 18-0.
I think Walker's average is something like 30-some yards a kick, so that was better than average.
Word from a sideline is that Juan's cramping. That's not something we saw him cramp a lot last year at the Galax game, and then really actually in the Appomattox game there he cramped a little bit. So really good news. If you got to have an injury, that's a good one to be worried about.
Absolutely. So the Raiders have it deep in their own territory at the 11. 1st and 10. Edwards back in at quarterback, looks downfield, throws deep, a receiver is open, caught over there at the 50-yard line, and finally tackled from behind. So big play for the Raiders. Dion Edwards throwing the ball, about 40 yards downfield, right on target.
Well, that's a good news. I mean, that's just good coaching by Coach Smith. You know that the safety for Altavista has been cramping up. Thornhill's been down out 2 of the last 3 plays. He's been out of the game, and lo and behold, he picks on him. So that's just a good job of coaching.
Good call. The ball is at the 47-yard line of Altavista. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. From the shotgun, Edwards gets a snap, back to pass, looking downfield, throws over the middle, incomplete, thrown too high. Good coverage by the Altavista defense. And now penalty flags fly along the far sideline.
And I don't know who from Altavista that they took exception. A little bit of extracurricular activities, how I'm going to have it. And then
3 or 4 flags over there along the Appomattox sideline. Wait for the referees to sort it out.
And I know that
stops the clock with 1:28 to go. The referees are conferring.
I'd be surprised if this is anything but offsetting, unsportsmanlike on both sides.
Looks like Coach Smith is not real happy with the call, as he's pleading a case with one of the referees.
Coach Sharness has edged his way all the way out to the far hash mark. He wants to make sure if something comes down, he's got his say in it as well.
I can see he's interested in knowing the outcome of this call and seeing what happened.
Again, we are in the Apple Market second quarter. Colonels leading 18-0 with 1:28 left here in the second quarter.
And looks like the referees might give each team a little time here to cool off.
And that's a nice, excuse me, Dave, but that's a nice job of officiating.
Yeah, give them a little time to collect themselves and talk to the teams. Usually there's a little warning that goes with a play like that from the referees. As Sharness strolls back to his sideline.
Claudel Moon, yep, there's personal foul, ejection, and high school football, if you're ejected, I think you miss the next game as well. So
I think you're right.
Claudel Moon unable to, again, I mentioned earlier, he's the emotional leader for this team. He's the fire plug. Wow.
Juan Thornhill comes back on the field for the Altavista Colonels. And we'll let's see where they spot the ball. It's going to be first down for Appomattox. It's at the 32, 33-yard line. Looks like 32 from here. And so the Raiders, once again, threatening to score. Edwards back to pass, pumps, fakes, complete to the far side, caught over there and knocked out of bounds. That's where Clydell Moon was. And so the Raiders pick on that defender over there for the Colonels that time and pick up the first down.
They're going to mark it about the 17 or 18-yard line. And again, Edwards is doing a nice job of really picking the Colonel's secondary apart right now.
He's finding the open receivers, and not that they're wide open, but he's finding the receivers. Here's Edwards again, throwing over the middle, just a little too far for the intended receiver, who was in the end zone, got a hand on it, but couldn't pull it in.
Yeah, ball was tipped by Demetrius Johnson.
Second down for Appomattox.
So second down for Appomattox, 1:16 to go. Clock stopping with the incomplete pass at the 16-yard line of Altavista. Raiders still trying to get on the board here in the first half, as they have shut down the high-powered Altavista offense. Colonels leading 18-0. From the shotgun, Edwards takes the snap, looks over the middle, throws, picked off. Michi Malbeck along the sidelines up the 20, the 30, the 40, the 45, the 30, the 20, the 10, the touchdown.
No flags.
Good blocking by the There's a flag now, but good blocking.
Celebration.
I think the flag is against the Raiders. Michi Malbeck taking it all the way back.
If it's a celebration foul, it's one thing. But if he's calling that an illegal block, Johnson got in front of him. He turned. By no means, if that's the call, it's awful.
He said something to him because they said they were coming. Had a confrontation.
So the confrontation between two players from opposite
touchdown
teams.
Is good.
Touchdown is good.
Unsportsmanlike on both players, offsetting.
Okay. So the plays offset. There was a nice downfield block by the Colonels, and then I think there were some words maybe exchanged at the end of the play that drew the flag, and it was a late flag.
And that was officially a 99-yard. Michi got that ball on the 1-yard line and took it to the house.
So there's a halftime highlight coming up for us with 1 minute and 1 second to go in the second quarter of play, the Apple Market second quarter. Looks like the Colonels will try for an extra point here with Juan Thornhill back in the game.
Once again, we see that transition from the Colonels. They're on defense, and you get a playmaker like Malbeck that makes such a great play like that, and it takes the Colonels no time to transition back to the offense. If they had a wall built for him in no time at all, and it was obvious nobody was going to catch him. Yeah. Michi's got a great initial burst. He's not the fastest 100-yard kid on the field, but when he had that escort like he had in that wall built, there was nobody that was going to get to him.
When he blew through the defenders there, the first wave, there was no question that it was good. The extra point is good by Walker Allen, and we've got a timeout with the score Altavista 25, Appomattox nothing on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Dave Haney and Oscar Briggs at English Stadium on this beautiful Friday night, where the Altavista Colonels have widened their lead thanks to a big play by Michi Malbeck.
Boy, we talk about Michi. He's never met a play that he couldn't make, and he certainly made one on that. You know, a little bit of shake up in the secondary is Moon was not in the game any longer, and they rotated in, and Ty Woodruff came in to take his place, but that was all Michi Malbeck, and then as they transitioned. Boy, and I'm looking down, and Coach Shaughness is about as animated right now as you'll ever see Coach Shaughness. He is letting this officiating crew have it. He is not happy.
The officiating crew talking to Altavista and trying to explain, I suppose, the reason for the flag on that last play, but it doesn't. It didn't look like, anything that amounted to much. So, but anyway, the Altavista Colonels will kick off here. And you're right, Coach Sharness a little bit animated and maybe irritated about that last penalty call against his Colonels. So still 1 minute and 1 second to go in the second Apple Market second quarter.
But this is a very emotional, physical Colonels team. They border on the edge at sometimes, but I don't think you want to you don't want to curtail that too much.
Here comes Walker Allen's boot, and it's going to go into the end zone. There will be no return. And now the Colonels are offside. And a penalty flag comes out back at the Altavista 40-yard line. Picked up and back the Colonels up 5 yards. So we'll wait to see if there's a return on this one. As number 6, Trey Walker, still stands back as his own 3-yard line. See how Walker Allen can do on this one. It'll be a good test for his leg.
Well, he's put a couple 7-8 yards deep, so if he just doesn't try to kill it and make solid contact, he can put this in the end zone as well.
Subway halftime show coming up here in about a minute of game time. And our halftime highlights brought to you by Highview Motors GMC.
And we'll have the word of the day in the Subway halftime, too.
Yeah, we got all coming up at halftime. Here's Walker Allen's kick. He gets a high end-over-end kick. Comes down to one of the side men at the 5-yard line. Back up the middle. Now decides to bounce to the outside. Gets around the corner at the 30. Cuts back on the inside. And then finally tackled at the 45-yard line by the Altavista defense. That was number 5, Philip Freshman, who made the return. And a nice return it was, from the 5 to the 46-yard line. We'll see where they spot it.
And you got to believe with that kind of time. Now, Appomattox burned their timeouts on one or two plays early in the first quarter. So you got to believe that they're going to try to score here. They've had success throwing the ball.
Raiders balled at the 42-yard line, and you'd think they might throw with only 50 seconds left in the half. 1st and 10 for the Raiders in their own territory, with Edwards, the quarterback, barking the signals. Drops back to pass, looking to the far side. Chased out of the pocket. Penalty flag comes out, and Edwards is tackled from behind by, guess who, number 10, Darius Johnson.
Yeah, we hadn't had a meeting of the brothers Johnson in the backfield yet. That was imminent, though. Clock continues to run, maybe. As soon as they give the ready-to-play signal, which should have already happened.
The ball is spotted at the 40. The clock should start running. Now it does. I guess we shouldn't try to officiate from up here.
No, I'm just trying to time. I'm using the time, trying to time keep from up here.
All right. Well, it's a good job to have. It pays well. 40-yard line for the Raiders, 2nd and 13. Here's Edwards. Back to pass. He'll hand off. Tries a running play, but the Colonels smother it in the backfield for a loss. Kelso was the ball carrier, but there were 2 Colonels right there in the backfield as Coach Revis is just letting them go. Blitz all the way.
And that's the right thing to do given the circumstance. Clock winds down into the first half. Colonels lead 25-0, Dave.
That's the end of the Apple Market second quarter, 25-0 on 105.5 KD Country.
Here's more monthly specials from your area Apple Markets. All meat quarter-pound jumbo hot dogs and 32-ounce fountain drink for $1.99. Gatorade 2 for $3, 32-ounce size. Red Bull 2 for $4, 8.4-ounce cans. Quench your thirst with Nestle's Pure Life Water 20-pack for $3.99. There's more specials at the Apple Markets on Riverside Drive, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. Remember what they say, stop by the Apple today.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business.
Stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away, with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
25-0. The Altavista Colonels with a halftime lead here at English Stadium in Altavista, where the Altavista marching band
Now entering the field, the
is getting ready to perform. And interesting exchange here at the end of the half between the Colonels coaching staff. Mostly it's Mike Sharness talking with the head referee about, I'm not sure which play exactly he was talking about, but we had said earlier there was a little bit of discussion between Coach Sharness and the head linesman about one of the penalty calls, and I think this was a continuation of it. Dean Hubbard was in, I'll say, eavesdropping on the conversation because the referees spoke with him a little bit earlier. Cliff Lee was also eavesdropping on the conversation, not really participating, but Coach Sharness was fairly animated and kind of relentless in his pursuit of discussion with the referee. We'll have some halftime statistics with Oscar Briggs coming up in the Subway halftime show in just a little bit. But the Subway halftime show here brought to you by Subway, where the September specials are going on, the roast beef and the cold cut trio footlongs, all on special this month at Subway. And they are open, of course, on their Main Street location and also in the Walmart location. So be sure and stop by. I stopped in there for a sub tonight, a steak and cheese. As always, they make it quickly. And there were a lot of people in there, actually, when I was there, but got in and out in a hurry and tastes good, just as always. Got a couple of cookies to go with it and the drinks. Well, I was going to get chips, but I thought they're bad for me.
Yeah.
So I went with the cookies.
Yeah, they're not bad for you. And as always, we talk about Robert Duff, and, boy, he does such a good job in the community and, philanthropic and just does a great job getting involved, feeding players, feeding teams, feeding cheerleading squads, whatever. And the service, as you alluded to, you just can't get any better than what Robert does.
And, of course, the other nice thing about Subway this season is he's providing a free foot-long meal each week to someone who will text us on Facebook with the secret word that we give out a little bit later. Well, how much later should we wait?
Let's do it now.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, let's do it now. And tonight's word, Subway word, interception.
Interception. Okay.
If you can get interception posted and like it and put it on a Facebook page and be the first one to do so.
Do you have to spell it right?
Close. Get it in the ballpark.
All right.
If it were me, I'd say yes.
All right. So you can text us at kdcountry.com, right? Facebook. Yep.
On the Facebook page.
Yeah, get it on our Facebook, which is kdcountry.com. So do that, and we'll give it to the third person tonight. How's that?
Third tonight?
Yeah, let's go third, because I think people are starting to get the hang of how this works. So you have to text us with interception.
There you go.
You don't have to spell it right.
That came from the boss.
So third word, and we'll have a winner, and you get a foot-long sub at either location, a meal deal actually at either location. So yeah, we're going to do it at halftime, because some of you might think that Altavista is going to run away with this game, which I don't think.
No, although it's 25-0, again, this game's not over. Appomattox has had a very good game plan. They've executed well throwing the ball. So, Altavista's down a couple players, or one player who's been ejected, and that's all we'll say about that at this point. Juan's cramping, so he's not 100%. So the game's not over, and you're gonna see Doug Smith's teams. They don't quit. A ton of athletes, and he does a great job coaching them. So, again, this game's not over by a long shot.
All right, with 6:24 to go in the half, we'll take a timeout on the Subway halftime show with the Colonels leading 25-0 on 105.5 KD Country.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, Main Street, Altavista.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in and bring the family and see your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Hi, I'm Daniel Wheeler with First National Bank. Let me tell you 3 things you may not know about a home equity loan. First, even if your mortgage is somewhere else, you can still have your home equity loan approved locally here at First National Bank with speed, expertise, and flexibility. Number 2, in addition to personalized local service, our rates are very, very competitive. And number 3, we may be able to help you avoid closing costs. So let's set up your home equity loan today before you need it. See me at First National Bank's Airport Branch on Wards Road, an equal housing lender.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
All right, we just did the Subway secret word for the footlong to win from Subway, and that's interception. We need the third texter. But we've got some halftime highlights here, and they kind of explain themselves. But this is the Highview halftime highlight show. And we'll turn it back to our producer, Eleanor, to bring us the highlights. Walker will try from the right hash mark. Kick is up, and it's got plenty of distance, and the referees indicate it is good. Looking, decides to keep, fake, keeps the ball, dances across the 30, inside the 20, and runs out of bounds. That was a nice play by Juan Thornhill, and Walker Allen will come on to kick. Bad snap, picked up and rolling to the right side, diving into the end zone. 2-point conversion there. That's Juan Thornhill. Edwards takes the snap, looks over the middle, throws, picked off. Michi Malbeck along the sidelines up the 20, the 30, the 40, the 20, the 10, the touchdown.
No flags.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in and bring the family and see your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Here's more award-winning high school sports with Kyle and Oscar on 105.5 KD Country.
Dave Haney filling in for Kyle Haney tonight at the Appomattox Altavista game on 105.5 KD Country, along with Oscar Briggs. And Oscar, you've got some interesting statistics for us here at the half.
Boy, we do. Altavista with 166 yards on the ground, 17 yards passing for a total of 183 yards. On that ground game, Juan has 104, Destin has 23, Claudel with 15. Appomattox 103 yards on the ground, 113 to the air, outgaining the Colonels with 216 yards to only 183. Of course, the big play here late was the pick six from 99-yard touchdown from Michi Malbeck.
Yeah, that turned out to be a big turnaround for the Altavista Colonels because the Raiders were threatening to score, and the Colonels have been able to turn them away each time that they get down near the Altavista goal line. So good job by the Altavista defense. I think we said at the beginning of the game the defense would be a big, important part of this Colonel victory tonight if they were going to beat Appomattox. But the Raiders are giving the Colonels all they want, as I don't want to call it a Dogwood District rivalry, but it's the Dogwood District teams back at it.
Well, that is, and you know, that nomenclature, that terminology is hard to die. With the conference realignments a couple years ago, people still refer back to the old Dogwood and the Seminole and all of that stuff. It's just hard to kill, and really the fans are not going to let it go away.
Yeah, it's a good rivalry. It's been teams from the area. It makes up a real good rivalry. And by the way, our broadcast is brought to you on the internet tonight at kdcountry.com. Brought to you by Chris Owens, your all-state insurance agent on Timberlake Road in Lynchburg. Be sure and tell Chris thanks for supporting the broadcast. I know not all the Altavista fans get over to Timberlake Road, but there are sports fans all around the Lynchburg area who listen to our broadcast, and we do appreciate that. And if anybody's worried, Kyle will be back next week.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's worried. If you wanted to finish the season in his stead, then that's fine with me. But later at the end of the game, we will pick our Chris Owen All-State Good Hands Player of the Games. And again, we appreciate Chris sponsoring this online deal and being able to pick us up and carry us really wherever anybody wants to listen.
We got time for one more break before the teams get back out on the field here as the Colonels come back and they'll warm up a little bit. Let's take this quick timeout with Altavista leading at the half over Appomattox 25-0 on 105.5 KD Country.
Unfortunately, I have some bad news.
How bad is it, Doctor?
We've done all we can. Your heat pump's not gonna make it.
Oh, no.
Honey, it's going to be okay. We'll call Select Air Mechanical and Electrical, 332-2600. With over 60 years experience, they'll have us comfortable again in no time.
I recommend Select Air to all my patients. Call 332-2600 or visit selectairmechanical.com. They can handle all your home comfort needs, and they're an authorized train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Perkins Tire and Auto Service in Chatham. And we do mean service because Perkins Tire will pick up and deliver your vehicle. Call Perkins Tire in Chatham, 434-432-1100, 432-1100. Whether you need brand name tires or service, call Calvin, Stanley, or Frankie at Perkins Tire and Service Center on Highway 29 in Tight Squeeze, just south of Chatham. Perkins Tire and Service Center, your authorized Michelin tire dealer.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pads, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Dave Haney and Oscar Briggs in the press box here at English Stadium in Altavista, where the marching band is performed at halftime. The Altavista marching band, of course. And both teams are back out on the field trying to loosen up just a little bit. We see Juan Thornhill down here on the sidelines. He was limping just a little bit before. I don't know if it just is going to take a little while to get loose, or
yeah. And Dave, if for those people that haven't had that type of athletic experience and played at that level, you get that severe cramp where it does that. It's not going to go away tonight. He'll have the effects of that tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday, and into Monday. He'll need to hydrate, and
And you can see him kind of stretching his legs there to try to keep it stretched out.
And it's difficult to keep it stretched out, and you can move it a certain way, and it can grab you just as hard again as it did earlier. So
the teams are just about ready to go here for the second half. We'll remind you that the first annual Altavista Fire Company Fall Festival featuring the Works is coming up next Saturday, October 4th. That's at the Booker Building stage in Altavista, and tickets, you can get them from any firefighter. So check out the Altavista Fire Department fundraiser if you get a chance next weekend.
And I'm going to give a shout out too, and really props to the Altavista band, who for several years took a hiatus, couldn't field enough people to really have a marching band, and the administration and staff here has done a good job with that resurgence, and they're up to probably 35, 40 kids now. They're doing a really, really good job back in some competitions, and Altavista Band's got a long history here of having some award-winning years, and it's good to see them back on the field supporting the athletics here.
That's a good point, because I can remember when I was doing the games, there would be a Altavista Band halftime show at almost every game. Maybe not homecoming, but the rest of the games they'd be performing. And like you say, that's kind of gone away over the last few years, but it's making a comeback now, and it's pretty exciting. A good friend of ours, Nick Bailey, will enjoy hearing something like that.
It will, and as we get ready to start the second half here, the Colonels will get the ball first. Be important for them, I think, to go ahead and start to reestablish themselves, and they can hang some points here on Appomattox. It'll make very, very difficult for Appomattox to come back in this ball game.
The Colonels will start from our left and go to the right toward the scoreboard end of the field. They're dressed in their orange uniforms with the black helmets and pants and black numerals, orange socks. The Raiders in the white jerseys with the blue numerals and silver pants and hats, and the blue socks, looking really nice in those uniforms too, I will admit that. As we're ready to go to start the Apple Market third quarter here on KD Country, WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg. And the Raiders will kick off for the first time tonight. Here's the boot. It's an onside kick. Gets by one of the Altavista players and goes out of bounds in front of the Altavista bench.
So a couple other players squaring off and jawing at each other. So
there's some frustration. There's some tempers. There's some rivalry between these two schools.
And again, it's been a very physical ball game. I haven't seen anything that was out of the way dirty or anything. It's just been a very physical ball game, as it always is between these teams. You get these kids that are this size and this kind of athleticism, it's going to happen. And especially it's 25-0, it's a little bit lopsided. Things can get chippy.
So the Colonels will take the ball after it goes out of bounds at their own 37-yard line. From the pistol, Juan Thornhill calling the signals. Man in motion. They give to the running back, Destin Brown, up the middle. Not much running room there as the Raiders clog it up and throw him back for a loss. Once again, there's a little pushing and shoving between the linemen. And I'm not trying to blame the linemen. There's just pushing and shoving.
No, that's where it is, and that's where the banging's going on. And
so it looks like no gain on the play. Might have gained a half a yard. Call it 2nd and 9 will be kind. As we get underway, third quarter of play from the near hash mark. The Altavista Colonels ball. Thornhill, the quarterback, from the shotgun. Gives a handoff up the middle. They got some running room that time as he dives forward across the 40-yard line. Destin Brown, the carrier, picks up about 5 on the play.
That's a gain of 5 yards.
And it looks like we'll spot it at the 43-yard line of Altavista.
And this defensive line, that was a nice play, but this defensive line on the previous play, this is a big, big defensive line, anchored by number 78, DeAndre Robinson, a 6'4", 350 pounds. You get that kind of kid in the middle, it takes a couple of Altavista Colonels they get his attention.
He is noticeably larger than any of the other linemen. Penalty flag comes out as the ball is snapped, and the Raiders defense, like you say, at least to start the third quarter here, has been clogging things up, at least for the Colonels trying to run the ball. And it's against Altavista.
That's right, Dave. That is against Altavista. Brings up 3rd and 10, or right at 3rd and 9, and that certainly changes the play call.
3rd and 9 is usually a pass play as the Colonels put 3 wide receivers to the far side, a man this sideline. Thornhill back to pass, keeps, throws downhill, wide open at the 30-yard line. 20, 10, Johnson at the touchdown, taking it to the house.
Touchdown!
That was Demetrius Johnson, not to be confused with his brother Darius, but he was so wide open downfield, and Thornhill had the time and the presence to find him.
Well, it was all Juan Thornhill. The pocket started to collapse on Juan, and Juan stepped up. The defender broke thinking Juan was going to run the ball, and once that happened, Johnson did a good job of getting. He was 15, 20 yards behind the nearest Appomattox player. That was an easy scoring play for the Colonels.
10 minutes to go in the Apple Market third quarter. The Colonels leading 31-0. They'll try to add the extra point with Walker Allen kicking, and it's got plenty of distance. It could go in the river. It's good. Timeout on the field with the score. Altavista 32, Appomattox nothing on 105.5 KD Country.
Installing Atrium vinyl replacement windows is like an investment in your home that can begin to pay dividends right away. You can save up to 30% or more on your home's heating and cooling costs. Add to your home's equity and add to its value by upgrading its looks and energy efficiency. Custom crafted Atrium vinyl replacement windows. Invest in your home's future with English's.
English's is your complete home center.
Business 29, Altavista.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, that might break it open for the Altavista Colonels as another big scoring play. Scoring quickly once again, as they often do against other teams.
3 plays, Dave, 63 yards, 1 minute and 55 seconds with that 62-yard Thornhill to Demetrius Johnson. 32-0. If the Colonels can get another score, it's going to put it in a running clock situation.
And the Colonels will kick off, of course, from their own 40-yard line. Appomattox with the 3 men back deep at about the 5-yard line. And like you say, another score, and that clock will start running, and that will shorten the game. But it's hard to come back when you're 35 or more points behind. And it doesn't get to be quite as much fun out there playing if you're on the losing end of the score.
No, and things we've seen so far this year, things can tend to you get into that running clock, things can get real chippy. So Colonels have got to be disciplined. Coach Lee, I've seen him down talking to the players.
Here comes Walker Allen with a high end-over-end kick that comes down at the goal line. It's number 6 back up the middle, Trey Wilson, and he gets some running room back up across the 25-yard line. Trey Walker, on the return. Gets it up to the 28-yard line of Appomattox, where the Raiders will have it. 1st and 10.
It is 1st and 10, and Kyle Woodruff in, and you'll start to see Woodruff come in. You'll start to see Devontae Clark come in. You'll start to see Coach Shawn sub some of these kids out now to get some of that experience.
Edwards under center, hands off to the running back around the right side. Some running room over there as he gets up across the 35-yard line. A big gain for the Raiders. They'll give him about 7 yards on the play to the Appomattox Raiders 36-yard line. We're at 2nd and 3.
And
Edwards under center again. 2 running backs. Hands off to the first man through. He's got some running room. Missed tackle from behind. Finally run down in Altavista territory. Broke through many Altavista defenders. A couple of them slipped off. Nelson Dews finally makes the stop. A touchdown-saving stop.
It was a touchdown-saving stop, and he got into the secondary too easy right there.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Raiders. They're set to go at the Altavista 35. Edwards back to pass, throw it over the middle, has a man down there deep.
That should be offensive pass interference. Michi had great position.
He came up with the ball. I don't know whether it was a catch or not, but there is a flag right down there.
They are marking as an interception, at least the far line judge is.
So an interception and a flag on the play. The flag right at the goal line.
And it is another interception for Michi Malbeck.
So the Colonels will take the interception and get back on offense. They'll see where they spot it.
It's going to be close to the goal line. Should be down around the 3. And that was an extremely athletic play by Michi.
He dove back and just scooped it up like an outfielder sliding under the ball.
And we did get confirmation from the replay booth that he did keep his arms underneath the ball.
That's good to know, because the angle up here is not as good as the replay booth. So 1st and 10 for Altavista as they are backed up in their own territory with Juan Thornhill standing in his own end zone in the shotgun formation.
Hard count.
And Appomattox jumps offside, I believe. Or at least the Altavista players would like to think that happened. That gives the Colonels an easy 5 yards.
And we've seen Juan do that time after time after time. He's the best in this area at that hard count and getting people to jump. And that they needed that 5 yards. That puts them at least out to the 8-yard line.
So it's 2nd and 5, and now Thornhill at the 3. Hands off to the running back around the left side. Got some running room. Destin Brown got one man to beat. Sidesteps him. Almost caught from behind. I'm sorry, that's Michi Malbeck who takes it across the 50-yard line. And now a penalty flag comes out at the last minute. Let's see what the call is, but that flag was way late after Michi had hit the ground. But Michi, once again, using the speed to get around the left end.
They use that little jet sweep, and great job again by the outside receivers. And
well, let's see what the call is. They're going to mark it against Altavista.
It'd be interesting to see what that is. That's 10-yard. It's going to be a holding call or block in the back.
Well, there was several players over there. It was kind of hard to see what might have transpired. But nevertheless, the Colonels still retained the ball. First down. Picked up enough yardage for the first down at the 38-yard line of Altavista. Trouble in the backfield there with the exchange. No gain on the play. Thornhill keeping the ball. Might have gained a half a yard.
That's what they're going to give him.
That's pretty generous. Could have been a half a yard loss.
Could have been.
It's now at the 40-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 9.5 for the Colonels. 8:27 to go in the Apple Market 3rd quarter. Thornhill from the shotgun has a man beside him. Back to pass, being chased out of the pocket, caught from behind. And a loss on the play for the Colonels.
And that's where you see Juan's not as mobile as normal, because ordinarily he escapes that. You don't see people run Juan Thornhill down from behind.
Not very often. So a good rush from the right-hand defensive side by the Appomattox Raiders.
Oh, and not to take anything away from them. It was a great defensive play by the Raiders. They got a ton of pressure on him. Great coverage in the secondary to keep him from throwing that ball. It brings up 3rd and about 15.
3 receivers to the far side of the field. One lone man along this side as Thornhill is in the pistol. Back to pass. Delayed game. Handoff. And Dustin Brown up the middle crashes forward across the 45-yard line and picked up some big yardage on the play. Not enough for the first down, but it'll be 4th and it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and it's interesting enough that there's another player down.
This one for Appomattox. Right at the 45-yard line, so the officials take a timeout. It won't be charged to either team as the trainers for both teams come out.
Boy, it's 4th and 3, Dave, and at midfield. It'll be interesting what the Colonels do here. If they can pick up those 3 yards, watch for Juan. Maybe if they do, watch for Juan with a hard count.
Yeah.
That's worked extremely well for the last 2 years. If he can't draw them out again, if you can get this first down with 7:15 remaining here in the third quarter and continue this drive, it's going to put a ton of pressure on Appomattox.
32-point lead. It gives Coach Sharness a chance to try some things that he might not ordinarily do if the game were closer. But here, like you say, you could try the hard count. You could try a fake punt. You could try a keeper. There's all kinds of things that the team can do with this kind of a lead. And they could just kick it away. So the player's still down on the field at the Altavista 45-yard line. Now they've finally gotten him up under his own power, walking slowly toward the sidelines. Is that number?
That's number 9. It's
9,
Christian
yeah.
Kennedy.
So that will give the Colonels a chance to set up a play.
And they are going out with their normal crew. They're going for it. At least they're showing that they're going to go for it.
They send 2 receivers to each side, 2 slot receivers also. And from the pistol formation, Thornhill is ready for the signals on 4th and 3. Now he moves Destin Brown up close to the line of scrimmage. Long count here.
Down to 10 seconds on the play clock.
And the Colonels call a timeout. So maybe that was to try to draw them offside. But it will give the Colonels a chance to regroup. And while they're doing that, we'll take a timeout with the score Altavista 32, Appomattox nothing on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
I'm Greg Walker. The song says a short drive will save you money, and I'm confident it will. At Fellers Chevrolet, we have a reputation of good service, a friendly atmosphere, and great deals.
September is Chevy Truck Month. Save up to $11,500 when you trade for a new Chevy Silverado at Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista. Hurry, they won't last long.
Come see us. The short drive will save you money.
Short drive will save you money. Miller Chevrolet in Altavista.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Voted by the Virginia Association of Broadcasters as the best sports broadcast in the state of Virginia, with not only Oscar Briggs and Kyle Haney, but Bob Albus included in that too.
Do we have to include Bob?
Well, we don't have to, but I was trying to be benevolent. And the Colonels will punt it away now on 4th and 3. High snap, a fake, and the Colonels get a first down. Thornhill on the keeper down the sidelines, beats one man as he scampers into the end zone. If he didn't step out of bounds, it's an easy 6 for Juan Thornhill. So, like I said, the Colonels had a chance to try a lot of different things.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and they did. And you could tell Juan was up a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage than he normally is, and that was a great job of blocking by that offensive line, and great job of Juan. Player had an angle on him trying to get him out of bounds, but Juan really tiptoed the line even after contact. Great job by Thornhill. Colonels lead 38-0, 6:51 here remaining in the third quarter. This will put the contest into a running clock.
That should be one of our final game highlights, huh?
It absolutely will.
That was a nice play. Here's the kick, the extra point by Walker, and the extra point is good as usual. Timeout with the score, Altavista 39, Appomattox nothing on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Back at English Stadium in Altavista on this beautiful Friday night. It's got to be a good time for the fans because they've got to be loving it if they're an Altavista fan. With a 39-point lead, the clock will start to run now. And the folks will speed up the game a little bit. So gives a chance for some of the second and third team players for the Altavista Colonels to get some more playing time. And they have been doing a good job. Coach Sharness in the pregame show remarked about how pleased he was by that second and third unit being able to play some good football against their opponents.
Well, and that was a 6-play, 97-yard drive. Remember, Michi Malbeck did that interception at the 3-yard line. Took them 2 minutes and 21 seconds, and was culminated by that Thornhill 54-yard run with the point after good by Walker Allen.
So another big play by Juan Thornhill tonight. And here comes Walker Allen with the kickoff for the Colonels. High end over end kick that comes up a little bit short at the 10-yard line. Picked up by number 7. He goes to the far side, now tries to cut back, spins away from one man, and then finally hit down as the ball is on the ground, and there is a scramble for it. Several guys going for it, and the Colonels have got it at inside the 20.
Looks like Matt Aiken, the number 21, recovered that ball. Hard to tell, but
there were several people had a chance at it as it bounced around for about 5 yards.
That's who it is. It was Matt Aiken.
Congratulations to Matt. Nice job of being in there on the ball. Matt, number 21, just a sophomore, and making a big play for the Colonels.
Of course, Matt comes from the Dr. Aiken family, and they've got a long history of athletics here at Altavista as well, with Natalie playing volleyball and basketball. And Colonel's in business, 20-yard line.
See some of the fans starting on the Altavista side starting to depart after that turnover for the Colonels. From the 20, here's the Colonels with Destin Brown going around the left side. Got one man to beat, slips by him, can't quite get to the end zone as he's pushed out of bounds near the goal line.
Looks like they're marking him at about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, looks from here, that's about right. So a nice run by Dustin Brown around the left side. Number 1, Michi Malbeck coming into the game. We'll see what the Colonels do here. 17 seconds left on the countdown clock. Shotgun formation. Running play up the middle. Dives to the goal line. The lineman says in. And it is touchdown Altavista.
Couldn't see exactly who that was, but it looked like Michi Malbeck, and that's been confirmed by PA announcer Andy Gamecock McCracken.
You had to throw that part in, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let it go. You think there are other South Carolina fans around here?
I think there might be a couple down here.
All right. 5 minutes, 34 seconds to go. The Colonels lead 45-0. Walker Allen on for the extra try. With Thornhill holding, here's the kick. Got plenty of distance, and it's also good. Timeout. Altavista 46, Appomattox nothing on 105.5 KD Country.
Here's more specials from your area Apple Market convenience stores. 32-ounce fountain drink, only 89 cents. Large coffee and fresh baked donut or Mrs. Freshly snack cake, just $1.99. Dr. Pepper, 99 cents for the 2-liter size, and 8-piece chicken, now $7.99, every day from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Apple Market locations, Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. You know what they say, stop by the Apple today.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Well, the Altavista Colonels have widened out their lead here thanks to a lot of big plays, particularly in the latter part of this ball game, to put up a 46-0 lead over the Appomattox Raiders. And not to look too far ahead, but coming up next week, we travel to Gretna.
At 10:05, Altavista scored. They've scored 3 times in under 5 minutes, Dave.
Okay.
I mean, you can't coach that.
No, that's, like I say, big plays have really turned the game here, particularly in the second half. So the Colonels cruising, as it were, at this point.
And while we're waiting for the kickoff, we do have a winner. Our Subway winner is Kay Henderson. She works where a short drive will save you money.
Really?
So
I should have known that.
How about that?
All right. Well, congratulations to Kay Henderson, our Subway Sub of the Month winner. We've got the gift certificate for you. We'll have it at the radio station on Monday or someday next week if you want to come by. And congratulations to Kay, and thanks for playing along with us on the Subway halftime show. We'll give away a Sub of the Month, a sub foot-long every week. Here's Walker Allen's kickoff. Again, it's a little bit short, comes down at the 15, and the Raiders come back up the middle across the 30, the 35, and that's where it'll be spotted, maybe the 36-yard line. So a good return by Appomattox.
Yeah, and Walker's kicking these things short intentionally, and I got to believe that that part of that strategy is Coach Sharness using this as a teaching opportunity to get these special teams to be able to cover the kickoffs, because he's not going to kick them into the end zone at all the time, but he's intentionally kicking these short.
Yeah, he's got them high enough, but it's not as deep as originally started. Here's the Raiders on the carry. They get up across the 40-yard line before the Colonels put the stop on the running back. 41-yard line. Trey Walker was the ball carrier for the Raiders. Brings up 2nd down and 6 for Appomattox. They run the full house backfield as Edwards goes up under center. Hands off again to the running back around the right side, and nice shoestring tackle over there by the Colonels right about the line of scrimmage. He might have gained a yard or two.
Hard to tell. They're going to spot it at the about 42-yard line.
So he might have gained a yard. We'll call it 2nd and 5.
Tackle made by Demetrius Johnson.
And they give Demetrius Johnson credit for the tackle on that play. Deservingly so. That was a nice shoestring tackle. 3:34 to go in the third quarter of the Apple Market. And now there's an offside there. I don't know if Appomattox moved or the Colonels jumped, but there's a flag at the line of scrimmage. They mark it off against Altavista. It'll be enough for an Appomattox Raider first down.
Offsides against the Colonels.
Going to move it to the 47-yard line of Appomattox. So the Raiders still trying to move the ball. They put wide receivers out to each side of the formation. Edwards under center. He'll hand off up the middle. Not much running room there as the Colonels make the stop. Dante Poindexter leading the way. Gained more than I thought. Picked up about 3 yards on the play.
Brings down 2nd and about 7.
Yep. Right around the 49-yard line of Appomattox. So the Raiders just content to run the ball here and maybe run out the clock. Here's Edwards, back to pass. Get out of the pocket, and he's tackled in the backfield for a loss. as the Colonels had about 4 or 5 guys in the Appomattox backfield. Looks like Donovan Montague get credit for that. So just as soon as I talked about the Raiders running it, they decided to pass, but it didn't work out so well.
No, and Darius Johnson was back in that backfield as well. He helped blow that play up.
The Montague sack was 3rd and long for the Raiders.
So 3rd down and, almost 18 yards, 16 yards from the Raiders' 42. They got to get to the Altavista 43. Here's Edwards back to pass again, thrown to the far side. Incomplete. The throw behind the receiver as 2 guys were running down the sideline for the Raiders along the far side of the field where the Raiders bench is located.
And Nelson Deuce did a nice job of getting a break on that ball. If it would have been in bounds, Nelson would have had a good opportunity to intercept that. 1:31. Clock continues to run. Running clock here. Anything by the time the lead gets above 35 points in the second half, the clock does run in the VHSL rules, and Colonels are leading 46-0. Didn't see this one coming to this extent, but boy, the Colonels have started to really flex their muscle.
It was 10-0 after the first quarter, and things have changed a lot since then. The Raiders will punt it away. Here's the snap. Colonels come with a rush. Jamerson gets a kick away, a nice one that goes out of bounds along the 30-yard line, far sidelines for the Raiders.
And they're going to say, Dave, that ball on the angle went out of bounds at the 40.
Wow.
So really an 18-yard punt. And Colonels take over. Be interested to see. Looks like Donovan Montague. We may see him in at quarterback this time.
55 seconds left in the third quarter on WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg, the home for real country and high school football featuring the Altavista Colonels, who are leading 46-0 over the Raiders. And the Colonels will take over 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Here's the snap they give to the running back. No place to go in the backfield. Looks like he lost yardage on the play as the Raiders defense came right on through.
Yeah, they're going to call that a loss of 5. And that's going to be the last play of this quarter, Dave. As the clock winds down to under 10 seconds, 9. Colonels lead 46-0 here at the end of the third quarter.
The Apple Market third quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can come by anytime, any day, 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
A running clock for this final 12 minutes of the fourth quarter of play, the Apple Market fourth quarter. And thanks to the folks at Apple Market locations at Riverside, Main Street, and Gateway for sponsoring our football games all season long. And the Colonels will switch ends here now in the fourth quarter.
And let me give you a little stat, Dave. We talked about Appomattox had the lead, had outgained the Colonels through halftime. Dominance in that quarter. The Colonels rolled up 175 yards, 113 on the ground, 62 through the air, holding Appomattox to only 40 yards. So that was a dominant quarter.
175 yards in a quarter is a pretty good quarter of play. It's a pretty good half of play. First, make it second down for the Colonels and 14. Here's the snap and running play around the right side for a short gain of a couple of yards, but not back to the original line of scrimmage. And the Colonels number 23 was carrying their Jonathan Montague. So Montague to Montague.
Montague straight out of the old Thornhill play where he was the keeper.
Jonathan has those lime green shoes.
Yeah.
Makes him noticeable. Third down. Here's Jonathan again around the right side. He's got some running room this time. Plows forward to the 45-yard line of Altavista. Gained maybe 8 yards, and will bring up fourth down for the Colonels.
And they're going to trot Walker Allen out. And as we've seen, any time that the Colonels have to punt, the running clock, third quarter, fourth quarter, Coach Sharness utilizes his starters in these special team situations, because as you get deeper into the playoffs, assuming that the Colonels will make the playoffs, and there's no reason, they're number one in the power rankings in the state right now, no reason to believe they won't, but as they get into the state playoffs, they've got to have this button down.
Right, and you just don't get a chance to practice this a lot during the week against yourselves. It's not like practicing it against someone else. Walker Allen gets a great punt away. Appomattox looks like they're just going to let it roll, but it gets a great roll inside the 10-yard line. So nice punt by Walker Allen. Have to count off the yardage here. See where they end up spotting it.
That's a 50-yard punt, no return.
7-yard line of Appomattox is look like where the Raiders will take over. With 10 minutes to go here, 46-0, the Altavista Colonels are leading. Don't go away. We've got a post-game show coming up tonight.
When you got a ton of people, as we talk about players of the game for Altavista, you got a ton of different choices there.
Yeah, that's going to take some thinking here.
And we probably won't agree.
Well, I'll try not to. One of the Appomattox players goes off on his own power, but goes off slowly, limping a little bit. And the Raiders will get set 1st and 10 from their own 7-yard line. Here's Edwards handing off to the running back around the left side. The Colonels string it out after a gain of about 3 yards. Looks like he might get back to the 10. We'll wait for the official spot. But the Raiders just kind of content to run their offense here.
Yeah, and you know, let's face it, 46-0. You're in the shadows of your own goalpost. You're not gonna take a big risk here and try to put the ball in the air. I wouldn't think. And Coach Smith is gonna try to limit this, limit the damage at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And get some reps for your offensive team. I think there's a fumble on the handoff, and the Raiders do recover it after a loss. We'll see exactly how far back they go. 8:46 to go in the game. Here in the Apple Market, fourth quarter of play. And they move it back to about the 6-yard line, where it'll be third down for the Raiders and 11. So this might dictate a pass.
It very well may, but they are bunched up. He is up under center, and they've got a tight backfield.
Yeah, there's no wide receivers out there at all, but they do get some receivers out. He's keeping, but run down from behind. Edwards was trying to roll out and pass. He had a couple of receivers coming downfield, but the Colonels caught him from behind, and a loss on the play back to the 4-yard line, where the Raiders will have to punt it away.
So a loss of a few more yards.
46-0, Altavista leading here, in case you're just tuning into the ball game. No matter where you are, whether you're on the internet or listening locally on the radio, we appreciate you joining us for our broadcast as always. And we'll be on the air again next Friday night with the pregame show starting at 6:30. Kickoff at 7 from Gretna. And Appomattox punts now. And Jameson gets it away. It's blocked. And the Colonels try to dive on it. We'll see who finally recovered it inside the 5-yard line.
I couldn't tell who blocked it. Somebody had a chance to catch it and go to the end zone, but I think he was too excited.
I believe that was blocked by Donovan Montague.
Might have been Donovan Montague who's going to get credit for the block. We'll look at the official statistics a little later in the weekend, but because it's a little easier to see down there on the sidelines than it is from up here.
Yeah, and here's where I think Coach Sharnas has a little bit of a you're leading 46-0. You got your backup players in. These kids practice hard. Boy, you got to try to score.
Man in motion, and it's Montague up the middle. He's not going to get to the goal line as he's driven back. We'll see where they spot it. It's going to be close.
No gain. Second and goal.
They say second and goal. Looks like he might have lost a yard because it's back to the 5. No, I'm sorry, back to the 3. So second down for the Colonels and goal. They'll try it again. Montague, the quarterback, man in motion coming across the formation. Montague will fake it and give off to the running back down near the goal line.
Yeah, marking it about the 1.
Wait for him on pile to see who the ball carrier was.
Mateo Malbec, who got in the end zone last week. Little jet sweep that his brother runs so well.
Third and goal.
So it's third and goal now for the Colonels. Not that they're concerned about scoring, although these guys on the second team would like to score.
And Appomattox doesn't want to let him in the end zone either.
You're absolutely right there. 3 wide receivers to the far side of the formation. Montague gets a snap, pitches to Jonathan Montague. Montague can't get anywhere as he's stopped for a loss back to about the 3-yard line. And there might have been a fumble on the play. It looks like the Raiders have recovered, so they turn the Colonels away. And that will be a little bit of a disappointment for Coach Sharnas and his second teamers.
Yeah, and no matter, even if you're trying to control what you do, you certainly don't want to turn the ball over.
Yeah, that ball, protecting the football is one of the things that's so vital to a team winning. And you don't see the Colonels making a lot of turnovers.
Dave, 5:19 remaining. Clock continues to wind, soon to be under 5 minutes, and the Colonels are leading 46-0.
It's part of the Apple Market fourth quarter. Here come the Appomattox Raiders with a nice run up the middle. Be at about the 11-yard line. Number 6 carrying for Trey Walker, carrying for Appomattox. Looks like he gained 9. Call it second and a long yard. Here come the Raiders again, straight ahead. No, they decide to roll around on the left side of the pitch out and cross the first down marker before he goes out of bounds over there. The Colonels finally surround him.
That play was a disaster from the get-go. The quarterback fumbled, couldn't pick it up. Once he did get it up, he had an Altavista defender around him. He shook him, got wide. Altavista had him contained. He did a pitch at the last minute. So a little backyard football, but it worked. First down, Appomattox.
Edwards is a big player to bring down. He's 205 and 6'2". Here come the Raiders again on first down. And the Colonels smother it as the Raiders go off the right side. Good defense by the Colonels.
And Coach Sharnas continues to shuffle second and third string players in.
And let's see, it'll be second down and 8. So the Colonels do get some fresh players in there. I'm not sure we can get all the numbers for you. Here come the Raiders again. Carrying around the left side and picks up the first down.
Gain of 12 on that play. 3:15, 14, 13. Clock continues to wind, and fans are starting to empty out a little bit. Still pretty good numbers sticking around.
Oh, yeah, seeing it all the way till the end. So, first down for the Raiders in their own territory at the 32. Number 15 picking up for the Raiders, going down the sideline, gets into Altavista territory across the 50 and the 40-yard line before he's finally brought down. So there's a nice play by the Raiders as they continue to play this game and not stop.
One of the bigger plays of the game for them, a 28-yard pickup. And Coach Rivas is still coaching, 2:25 remaining.
First down at the Altavista 40. Again, they go off the left side, got some running room, the first down, and the Colonels finally stand him up after he gets across the 30-yard line. So the Raiders have found a little weakness over on that left side of their, the Colonel, well, be the right side of the Colonel's defensive line, and they've exploited that on the last couple of plays.
They have, and it would be easy for Coach Sharnish to put his starters back in and not let this Appomattox team score.
Here come the Raiders up the middle, got some running room, comes around to this side. He's going to head for the end zone. Nobody will catch him. The Raiders score a touchdown. I don't see any flags on the field.
No, there probably could have been. Two Appomattox linemen took down one of the Altavista players in the backfield, but hey, nice play by Appomattox.
Yep. So a good play for the Raiders as they get on the board. And tightens up the game 46-6 with 1:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Well, it's not real close.
That's the third touchdown the Colonels have given up this year, and two of those have been not on the starters. So still continue to dominate defensively. Boy, nice job by Appomattox.
Number 5 holding, and the kicker extra point is up, and it is good. So timeout on the field with the score, Altavista 46, the Raiders 7 on 105.5. Katy Country.
Stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away, with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded, Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
Here's more award-winning high school sports with Kyle and Oscar on 105.5 KD Country.
Just 1:40 left in tonight's contest between the Colonels and the Raiders. It's been all Altavista, particularly in the second half, Oscar Briggs.
Boy, it's been a dominating performance here. The 21 points that they hung up on Appomattox in the third in a 5-minute span, they just took control of the ball game, and it really took the life out of Appomattox. They dominated both offensively and defensively. Just one of the better quarters of football that the Colonels have played this year.
So the Raiders get a chance to kick off again for the second time this evening. They kicked off to start the second half of play. And this is the Apple Market fourth quarter of play.
And you've got Malbeck back deep, Thornhill back deep, Destin Brown and Nelson Dews are the second set of people that are up around the 30-yard line. And you got a couple of hands players up there now, because you got to believe that they are going to try an onside kick, although, 140. It's, Coach Smith is that you take this as an opportunity as a coaching moment as well, and use this as an opportunity to practice something special.
There's the onside kick. It's a squib. Colonels have trouble handling it, and over on the far side, the Colonels fall on it on the 35-yard line. So, nice job of scooping up that loose ball, because you might face that situation during some other parts of the season.
Yeah, that's right. And Boy, the clock is winding now. Probably 2 snaps, certainly 3 should do it. I'm sure you'll see the Colonels take a knee.
Yeah, with 1:07 to go.
And they have not started the 25-second play clock, so
just got underway. Down to 20 seconds.
Yeah, it'll be a two snap deal. Yeah. They'll have to snap it one more time after this if they take a knee.
And I would expect them to do that as they go under center and take a knee. And that is it for the first snap, the victory formation, so to speak, with 34 seconds left to go in the game. The Altavista Colonels leading 46-7. You don't expect much of a change in the score at this point. And we thank you for joining us tonight. There's the second knee, and that'll run out the clock in the Apple Market fourth quarter. We appreciate the Apple Market folks sponsoring the games, and we hope you'll stop in and tell them how much you appreciate them being one of the sponsors of Altavista Colonel football. Some of them will probably wonder what the heck you're talking about, but there's a few people there that listen to the game real regularly at the Apple Market locations. So that's the final score, 46-7 in favor of the Altavista Colonels here on your real country station, 105.5 KD Country.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, Main Street, Altavista.
Have you looked at your business banking fees lately? I'm Sean Stone with First National Bank, and we have the best business accounts which offer serious savings for your company. We have a full menu of business products from checking accounts and remote deposit capture to online banking. And we have a local merchant card representative who will customize services just for your business. So let First National Bank prepare an analysis of your current activity and show how we will reduce your banking fees. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pads, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, the Altavista Colonels have another seemingly easy victory tonight over the Appomattox Raiders, 46-7. The Colonels led 10-0 after the first quarter, 25-0 at the halftime. And then, of course, the Colonels, like Oscar mentioned, had a big third quarter to make difference in the game. We want to take a moment to recognize all of our sponsors who help make the broadcast possible, and without them, these games wouldn't be on the air. They include El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place for family and friends to dine. They're still open tonight. English's Building Supply, and they're the Atrium Vinyl Window Dealer. Tyree Little Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between. Highview Motors, GMC, from small to tall, Highview has it all. Apple Auto Glass, where you get a free car wash when you have a new windshield installed. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. English Construction Company, wishing our high school athletes an exciting game and injury-free. Feller Chevrolet, where a short drive saves you money. Also the Apple Markets, where you can check out their weekly specials at area locations. Select Air, Mechanical, and Electrical. See your authorized trained dealer. Tell Donnie we said you need to give him a call. Perkins Tire and Auto Service on Highway 29 in Chatham. Call Calvin for free pickup and delivery. Our live internet broadcast on KD Country, brought to you by Chris Owens, your Allstate insurance agent on Timberlake Road in Lynchburg. And, of course, this is the Subway post-game show. Oscar's working on some statistics, and we'll have a highlight or two for you. But first, we'll take another timeout here. Again, the final score, Altavista 46 and Appomattox 7 on 105.5 KD Country.
Unfortunately, I have some bad news.
How bad is it, Doctor?
We've done all we can. Your heat pump's not gonna make it.
Oh, no.
Honey, it's going to be okay. We'll call Select Air Mechanical and Electrical, 332-2600. With over 60 years experience, they'll have us comfortable again in no time.
I recommend Select Air to all my patients. Call 332-2600 or visit selectairmechanical.com. They can handle all your home comfort needs, and they're an authorized trained dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Perkins Tire and Auto Service in Chatham. And we do mean service, because Perkins Tire will pick up and deliver your vehicle. Call Perkins Tire in Chatham, 434-432-1100, 432-1100. Whether you need brand name tires or service, call Calvin, Stanley, or Frankie at Perkins Tire and Service Center on Highway 29 in Tight Squeeze, just south of Chatham. Perkins Tire and Service Center, your authorized Michelin tire dealer.
Here's more monthly specials from your area Apple Markets. All meat quarter-pound jumbo hot dogs and 32-ounce fountain drink for $1.99. Gatorade 2 for $3, 32-ounce size. Red Bull 2 for $4, 8.4-ounce cans. Quench your thirst with Nestle's Pure Life Water 20-pack for $3.99. There's more specials at the Apple Markets on Riverside Drive, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. Remember what they say, stop by the Apple today.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
All right, Oscar Briggs, you got some statistics for us?
Boy, I do, and we talked about that Appomattox actually had the stat lead with yards gained at the half, up 216 to 183. Altavista rolled up 175 yards in the third quarter and really turned that. That's what really put the ball game away. Colonels ended up with 370 yards total. 291 on the ground, 79 through the air. Juan Thornhill accounting for 158 of that on the ground. So dominant performance by the Colonels in that. Appomattox only ended up with 266 yards. So the Colonels shut them down 50 yards here in the second half.
Wow.
So most of that was, well, I take that back. I've got a glitch in my fourth quarter stats because they did do that 97-yard drive, so that unofficial stats. But just a total dominance by the Colonels. From a scoring perspective, started off with Destin Brown with a 10-yard run. Colonels went up 7-0. And then a 29-yard field goal from Walker Allen to make it 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. After that, second quarter, Destin with a 3-yard run. Extra point was good on the missed snap with Juan getting in for 2. And then Michi capped it off with that 99-yard interception return that he took to the house. Third quarter was, they scored 3 touchdowns in 5 minutes, Dave. Just took the game by the throat. A 62-yard Juan to Demetrius pass that was good. Extra point was good. Juan with another 54-yard run, and then Michi with a 3-yard run, and that really just flat put it away. Nice job by Appomattox in the fourth quarter, driving down and scoring that touchdown to make it 46-7 as Altavista was substituting in to get those players some more experience. And we've seen Coach Sharness do that in the second half to continue to get those players some experience. It paid off because some of the kids that as we lost some seniors, they've stepped up this year and been ready to play.
And we'll need that next year because we've got a bunch of seniors this year.
Yeah, we do.
So you talked about some of the things statistically. We've got a couple of Highview highlights here that we want to feature going into the final Subway post-game show here. So we'll let Eleanor take it away with those highlights. Thornhill back to pass, keeps, throws downhill, wide open at the 30-yard line, 20, 10, Johnson at the touchdown, taking it to the house. That was Demetrius Johnson, not to be confused with his brother Darius, but he was so wide open downfield, and Thornhill had the time and the presence to find it. Shotgun formation, running play up the middle, dives to the goal line. The lineman says in, and it is touchdown Altavista.
No one knows trucks like we know trucks. Come see us and you'll agree. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC. Come on in and bring the family. See your friends at Highview Motors. Highview Motors, GMC. From small to tall, we've got it all. Highview Motors, GMC.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
All right, back at English Stadium, wrapping up the broadcast. Of course, some of you already know what's on tap for next week. It's the Gretna Hawks, and don't overlook the Hawks. Anytime you go to Gretna, it's a big rivalry, and I know a lot of these Altavista fans, to me, are getting a little bit overconfident so early in the season because the Colonels are winning so easily.
Well, they are.
Down the road.
They are, and Gretna's wounded. They lost 31-20 tonight to Chatham, so they still haven't won a ball game. Altavista lost its emotional leader tonight. They're really cheerleader, the guy that really brings the energy for them, and Clyde L. Moon, who got ejected, and in VHSL rules, he has to sit out the Gretna game. And again, you alluded to it. Anytime you go to Gretna, you're going to have your hands full.
That's absolutely right. So, but a great game, another great game for the Altavista Colonels tonight. And congratulations to our Subway winner. We'll have another Subway meal deal to give away next week on the Subway halftime show. So Kyle will be back next week, Oscar, and been a pleasure working with you. Oh, we need to pick the player of the game.
Yeah, we do. I'll go first for Appomattox.
Oh, good. We got to pick one for Appomattox.
You got to do one from each.
Boy.
It's got to be Edwards. Edwards did a good job against the Altavista pressure. Did a good job throwing the ball. So for me, it was Edwards.
I can go along with that. The quarterback, the senior leader, did what he could to hold off Altavista. There's just too much Colonel firepower, too much defense. There were several stars for the Altavista or for the Appomattox Raiders, but I can go along with Dion Edwards as player of the game.
I'll let you go first for Altavista.
Brought to you by Chris Owens, your All-State agent on Timberlake Road in Lynchburg. I'm going to take Michi Malbeck. He turned the game around.
Boy.
And I know you probably disagree with me.
No, Kyle and I have this running debate. It's easy to pick one.
It is. Juan did a lot of things. He made a lot of things happen. But I think the spark plug was the 99-yard interception.
And I think that what you'll find is when the stats come out tomorrow, I think you're going to see Michi right at 100 yards. If he didn't go over 100 yards, he had right at 100 yards rushing. Defensively, 2 interceptions. The big one that really broke the back was the 99 yards. So to Bob Alvis and Kyle Haney's dismay, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to go with Michi as well.
Well, I got lucky on that one, that's for sure. But we appreciate you all joining us again tonight and invite you to join us again next week for some high school football. We'll be here live on 105.5 KD Country.